Too many games, now all our chips are lost. Luck was not enough. I opened my eyes. Tonight I feel like waking to life. Tonight I feel like waking up. Tonight I feel like waking Now here we stand and hover on the edge. We're just a drop in time. I feel like gave you every breath I had. Even forgave your crimes. I opened my
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a lovely, lovely, very special edition of Stones Live. When I say lovely, I mean it because it is Ladies Night.
Ladies Night.
Ladies Night in the house here at Stones. A table full of lovely ladies here this evening. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to quite some time.
I am super excited about it, and for one very specific reason, because one player I am like been seeing and talking to in the chat for months, and now she's here.
Queen of the chat, I know. So the one and only Lady No Muck is in the game tonight.
Lady No Muck, what's up? I can't wait to watch you play, and yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, so it is going to be a 1-3 no limit game. Started out as a $60 minimum buy-in to a $500 max, but then after that it's table stakes, and if you've seen Stones Live before, we all pretty much know how that goes. It means money is going to be in play on the table, I'm sure. So.
It gets big, it gets crazy. I'm excited. This looks like a fun lineup. So, and look at Mr. Justin Kelly dressing up. We actually were just talking about this. We're going to Ladies Night prom night.
It's true.
Prom night.
It's prom night. So if any of you guys could really do me a solid and like just rush over to Corsage or something real quick, so I don't look like that guy.
My flowers.
I'm the worst. I am the worst. It's true. Magic Man 366 in the house on Twitch. What's going on? Watt Bry. See a couple other regulars here. Janae Smith, Sancho Sanchez, Pyroshen, and of course Rick and Laughlin, and Jenna White. Jenna White is tuning in with us now. Is Jenna White in the game tonight too?
Jenna is hosting actually.
Nice.
So yeah,
very cool.
She was in maybe for a minute or two. I think we actually have some action coming up pretty quick. I think we may have.
Yeah, we'll have some action coming up. You know, before, let's see here. I don't know when we're gonna get down on the table. Before then, though, I do want to touch base on some cool tournaments coming up because it is officially May now. No, April.
No,
I'm just kidding.
April. It's
I'm actually
looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be May meme. If you've ever seen that with Justin Timberlake, it's true. If you guys haven't, just look it up. But at the end of April here, we do have the Quantum tournament coming up, and that is going to be really sweet. Lots of different starting flights here. Actually, 2 starting flights a day starting on April 30th. all the way through May 3rd. $120 buy-in would get you 10K in chips and the top 10% advance. Then after that, they have a day 2 buy-in option. I'm sorry, another day 1 that's slightly bigger at $240, and then a day 2 buy-in option where you can direct buy-in for $900.
Woo woo, we have cards.
Yeah.
Jenna just waking up with Ace King, her first hand. And
How nice of her.
yeah, let's see how this plays out for her. She raises it up to 21.
Yo, teach Lady No Muck in the house. Obviously not mucking, living true to her name.
That's right. I'm really excited to have Lady No Muck in the game. So it looks like they may be doing a straddle because it's a 1-3, but it was $6 for Jenna to call, so maybe a $6 straddle. And then she raised to 21. So she chose about a 3x sizing here. I actually was standing at the table when this hand played out.
Spoiler alert. You already know. I like it.
I already know exactly what happened. Here in a second, I actually come up behind 9KJRTY and give her a little poke on her back. I didn't realize she was in the hand.
Right? I always do that. I'm like, hey, and I'm like, oh. And I feel like it's
they
always.
Don't seem happy to see you, and you're like, oh,
It's going to be the
it
pivotal
hurts.
decision where I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were in the middle of like an all-in massive pot here. Oh, look at this here on the turn. So she was just basically saying maybe if her 10s were still good here. The turn actually gives KJRD a straight draw.
Yeah, I mean, she hates to see 2 overs, but the fact that there were 2 queens out there made her feel like she could possibly still be good here. But when Jenna's continuing, she's definitely not feeling so great about her 10s anymore. Jenna was our pre-flop raiser, so her range definitely has a lot of kings in it. And KJRTY, Kajurdy, I'm not sure exactly, she lays it down.
Yeah, I think she was basically just looking there to keep her honest one time. And if she felt the need to keep firing, she was like, you know what? I'm good. We can just let 10s go. There we go. It's Curti, by the way.
Curti.
Yeah.
Okay.
Racing Guy 8933. Oh, what's going on?
Her name is Kirsten. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. Seems easier than Curti. Is it Curti?
Yeah, we're gonna go with Curti.
Curti. Okay, I'm gonna call her Curti. Okay. Hey, what, Bri? What's up? Good to see you. Much love to you as well. Racing Guy.
Red Rum in the house here with 5s, and Red Rum's a bit of a crusher. She's actually been doing some pretty deep tournament runs lately as well.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Sally's a familiar face to me as well. What do you know about Sally?
I know that she plays a lot, and I feel like anybody that plays a lot generally is only going to get a little bit better over time, at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you can only be, it's okay, well, you know, they've been playing forever. Well, then they're not that bad because they haven't lost their entire bankroll yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I know she's been playing forever. She's a staple. She plays here all the time.
Lady No Muck shows no fear. I love to see it. And Red Rum is calling, even with the ace and the king on board. Both of these players not afraid. Lady No Muck spikes a 3rd 9 on the river. It's giving her a great option to continue here. She hated it when Red Rum called her turn bet with those 2 overcards out there, but lucky for her, she spikes the 9. She was best the whole time. She's going to take it down. But yeah, I'd like to see so far, you know, normally on ladies' games, I oftentimes feel like they can be a little bit tighter. But just from starting out, the way this table is starting out, I feel like we may not see that tonight. A lot of these players are not wanting to just insta-fold with overcards out there. They're floating, continuing, seeing an extra card. So I hope to see this continue. We might have some good action tonight on this ladies' game.
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe we will have some good action for sure. I'm just laughing at some of the chat here. Ladies' night, no Veronica, blasphemy. Every now and then, guys, we do give Veronica the night off. It's okay. It's okay. Plus, she normally crushes so much in her own game, we like to give other people a chance to win as well.
Go. Now, I just saw somebody show up. Wait a second. We're going to wait for this. I'm going to wait. I think you guys might get a little show later.
Yes, good. Yeah, this ought to be fun. This ought to be great. We'll leave it at that. You know, I thought something like this might happen. I'm not surprised that it did. We'll see how it goes down.
All right.
All right, so Curti here, 3-betting to 35 with ace queen.
nice hand, and I like the 3-bet here.
So Lady No Muck does bank top pair. However, Curdy picks up a sweet straight draw to Broadway here. The jack comes. And she's going to exercise her option to bet it out.
These players may be ladies, but pretty much all of them are very experienced players, or people that I see in the poker room a lot, or that you can see around playing a lot of tournaments. So they definitely know what they're doing, and I'm liking it so far.
There we go. So Lady No Muck is going to make the call. Oof. This turn here is going to catch Curdy up real quick. Curdy, being that she was the original aggressor pre, 3-bet pre, bet on the flop, and now, let's see, what did she bet here?
It looked like 130 or 110. Okay, so I actually would have really liked to see a check here on the flop, and you can argue for either way, but she could almost show some fear of the ace, as in, like, oh, I was afraid of the ace coming as well, and let Lady No Muck bet into her. Now she may more likely get a fold out of Lady because of her big turn bet when the ace comes. She could have likely gotten more value. Yeah, more value out of a check there and let Lady No Muck continue with her king by showing a little bit of weakness.
Yeah.
But I think she's happy to take down a good sized pot there anyway.
Absolutely. Oh, sick needle. Stolen Van Gogh says, from Justin to Kelly, do you get that a lot? Ironically enough, that is actually single-handedly what saves my name from being so easily Googleable. Is that a word? Yeah, when you Google me, basically just pops up with that crappy movie with the first 2 American Idol winners and runner-up, Kelly Clarkson and Justin whatever. And then everybody gets to Google them and not worry about me. So I'm okay with that. It's a deal I made a long time ago with the NSA, and we're each holding up our end. All right, I think we're bringing them back in, maybe.
I wonder if they're going to do a bomb pot when the dealers change here. We oftentimes do, but ladies are going to do
I love me a good bomb pot.
Me too.
I mean, and let's face it, isn't normally the true instigator of that Harlan. It's always Harlan, right? Harlan, it's not a matter of like, is there a bomb pot? It's a matter of like, how much are we doing in the bomb pot, guys? Like, how much is it? Because it's not like if it's got to happen if Harlan's at the game, so.
Yes, no. I didn't get to see the frontal of that individual.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Looking forward to whatever that is over there.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so let's see here. What's going on? Showtime Poker, that's right. Showtime Poker 19. I thought I saw a familiar face pop in there. What's going on?
From Toronto. What's up, Showtime? Don't forget, guys, to hit subscribe and follow, like on Twitch and YouTube. You'll get notified whenever we go live. We have streams running Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and sometimes Sundays. You don't want to miss out on this action. It's a great tool not only for entertainment, but also for learning. So hit that button, and you'll always get notified.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since considering with the Stone Spring Classic coming up, guys, we are broadcasting more than half of this month. In like, I think there's a time we're broadcasting like 8 or 9 days straight. So you definitely want to hit that notification button for sure. So going to this flop, Jack Queen for Evie the Quad Queen. Couple of overs here, along with a straight draw. Yo Teach does connect with that pair of 8s. Currently in the lead.
What's up, Rick? And you can call me Joker. Hey.
Donkey asked if I have a hot date after the show. Hopefully, I mean, I heard it was ladies' night. That's why we had to at least dress up a little bit, right? We had to give it a shot.
He's hoping to be able to take out one of these ladies straight off the table.
Why do you think I'm doing the stream? I'm like, who's the big winner tonight? What's going on? Getting me the sugar mama. So it looks like currently chip-wise, Evie the Quad Queen way up there at $656. The Diva on the short end currently with about 100. And there's what we were talking about, guys. The Stone Spring Classic coming up. It's going to be all of the middle of this month there. It's going to be a week of awesomeness. You got Lex Veldhughes, Jason Somerville, Andrew Nemi, and Kevin Martin in the house. A couple of these guys hopping in the booth together for the first time. We may or may not break the internet, but we want you to be here when it happens.
I'm really excited. We've been talking about this, and I'm ready for it to finally be here, and it's almost here.
Yeah. I know that last time we had Kevin Martin in the house by himself, it was a blast. We had Anonymia as part of the Vloggers crew, that was a blast. So now that we're adding Jason and Lex to the mix, I think it's just going to be, it's just a crusher time. Like, crushers poker action for like that solid week, so definitely be here.
This room's going to be popping off. It's going to be just full of players coming in as well. So crushers, recreational players, it's time to be here. Pocket sixes for the diva. She raises it up to 10, trying to build herself a little pot with her pocket sixes. I actually like that. I think a call is fine with pocket sixes, but I like to sometimes make a small little raise and add that into my mix so that I build a little pot for when I do hit a set.
Like right now? We tried to get it on cue. We tried, but the deck doesn't cooperate sometimes.
Yeah, Lady No Muck has one of those sixes, making it a little bit harder for her.
Thank you, D Brown, I think, for the follow that just popped up there. Much appreciated. Oh, and Pyroshen in the house. Pyroshen, you've been here forever. You just subscribed. I love it. You're awesome. Thanks, dude. The official subscription. Pyroshen does love us.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you, Pyroshen.
So, yeah, obviously.
So did we just get 2 subscribes?
I think a subscribe and a follow. I'm not sure. They're used interchangeably between YouTube and Twitch. Nice. I like that. See, Showtime Poker 19. We've seen people do this, and that's the full DGen status. Stones is a must-watch. I watch sometimes live at the Poker Room. I absolutely love it. Obviously, you know the Poker Boss, Sean McCormick over at the Aria is a big friend of the show, and he has actually sent me Snapchats before of Stones live streaming on his iPad while the actual like super high roller bowl is going on right behind him live. So he's like, I'm watching this, and just you can't have too much poker, guys.
Yeah, we love poker. I'm the same way.
9 high like a boss. What's going on? Oh, speaking of Vegas, Joel Brown's out there right now, aren't you? I see you're having way too much fun out there, dude. Way too much fun.
I think he came back maybe today. Loan for cards. What's up? And 9 high like a boss. What's up?
They can contact my agent.
Oh my. Riggory. We see you. What's up, Joel?
All right, so Jenna over here gonna exercise her right to party. She's gonna make it 12 to go with King Queen suited from the small blind. Evie is gonna come along with 7s, and the Diva's gonna get out of there.
You're missing out on free gift products. What's wrong with you?
Boom, King high board here.
Nice.
Great flop for Jenna. Just she pretty much flopped everything she needs. She's way out in front here.
David Lane, hello.
Evie basically looking to make the call with 2 overs on board, and she does. Whew. I was gonna say a 7 would really spice things up here. Not quite. I think now at this point when Jenna continues on again, I think Evie can probably find a fold. Pot's about 60 bucks. She bet 17 on the flop. I'd expect to see closer to 30 or something there. Yeah, and it's quick fold by Evie.
Yeah, so we see these stacks are widely varied right now, but at any time these players are allowed to match the largest stack at the table. So they can reach in and add to their stack. And this game can definitely get a lot deeper as the night continues on. So yeah, just to tell you guys a little bit more about the Spring Classic, we've got events that's starting April 13th. That's going to be the Win the Button No Limit Hold'em tournament. It's 30-minute levels, 12,000 in chips. It's a $200 buy-in, and it's the $15,000 guarantee. That's just going to kick us off, and then we're going to have like fun stuff every day. A chip amplifier on the 14th, Assassin's Bounty the 15th, Classic on the 16th. Then we're going to have a bunch of turbos leading up to our main event that kicks off on the 19th.
Yeah, it's honestly, that's one of those things where I know specifically people, even with like their normal day jobs, are taking a week off work because they're going to come here and just grind. every tournament, every satellite they can. Like it's gonna be awesome.
I'm really happy.
We're gonna it's a $250,000 guaranteed between all the events. Is that the little shoulder shrug of excitement?
That
right there?
is. It's like I'm gonna getting into those games. I'm gonna be here.
It's gonna be awesome. So we are gonna blow through these guarantees. I guarantee you. That sounded horrible, but you get the point. So $250K guaranteed, $150K of which just in the main event. With the actual prize pools, after hitting all those guarantees, I'd say it's gonna be probably closer to $350, something like that. I mean, easily.
Yeah, it's gonna get really big. So we've got a hand here developing between Lady No Muck, Sally, and Red Rum. Let's see here. So Red Rum hits the better ace. Both Sally and Red Rum have the ace. But Lady No Muck does hit a piece.
Ooh. And the turn, she turns 2 pair, but that actually gives Red Rum a straight draw as well.
So let's see how the action is going to play out here.
So Lady No Muck bets 15, gets called by both Sally and Red Rum, I believe here. Brick on the river. Lady No Muck with a check mark, assuming she can hang on.
She makes a rather small bet considering the pot size, which I like because it does definitely give Red Rum an incentive to call here. Yeah, so Red Rum does make the call, and Lady No Muck's going to pick up a nice little hand there for herself.
And this is one of those scenarios where let's say it was reversed, and Ace-3 was behind Red Rum there, and Red Rum folded. I think either way, it's one of those, like, one of the players with an ace is probably going to look you up just to keep you honest, right? So it's like, either way, one of them is going to call you, so, like, bet the amount that you can let one of them call you, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, Wapri says Sally looks like Miss Goldberg from the TV show. Did you guys watch that show, The Goldbergs? I know you don't watch much TV, right?
I don't.
So it's about this family in the 80s, and it's so great. Every episode is kind of like loosely based around a random like 80s pop culture reference or movie from the 80s or something like that. And they do a really good job. But his mom is adorable and has this iconic, perfect like 80s hair, like throwback, like blowback hair scoop, like it's all blonde. And Sally just nails it. She looks just like it's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little pump me up here for
Wake
our prom
up
night.
in the house.
Yes.
I can't have my prom date falling asleep on me, guys.
So matching right now. It is so awesome. I'm like really feeling it.
It's
Feeling
true.
the outfits.
It's true. Guaranteed though, you got the way best deal on your outfit though.
Love it. Love the sparkle. Gotta have a little sparkle. And I have the perfect shoes for this dress.
Nice. Wapri chiming in says, "Oh hey, look, Amber. Amber is an orthopedic surgeon."
Why is this so good? Amber is an orthopedic surgeon. Go Amber. Thanks. I'm gonna listen into some of this action.
Yeah, here's some little ladies table talk here.
Smart idea here.
You wanted a picture with attitude.
What I'm trying to say is, I had pictures.
We're working one or the other for you.
You're beautiful.
I mean, that's why I have Photoshop. You know, I go home and control what the media sees of me. It's important.
I don't see any reason you would do it.
Oh, I do.
Red Rum with Ace-9. She's gonna make a raise. It looks like to 15. Yep, she's gonna raise it up to 15. She's under the gun +3. So in like middle position. And it folds around to her. So nice. Takes it down free.
Yeah. Over there?
Spotlights on you.
Yeah.
also, I just want to remind everybody, when you guys are here at Stones, make sure you have your Stones live card, your Stones card, and you put it on the table. It's going to clock all your hours of play here, and you're going to get money for every single hour of play that you can use towards Stone Live hats or hoodies, as well as just all of our wonderful food. We have a specific menu just for poker players that allows you discounts on the wonderful, delicious food here. I dream of the balsamic chicken salad daily. I eat it almost every time I'm here, but all the food here is absolutely delicious. Curdy takes it down here with the king queen. No, not Curdy. That was not Curdy. Was Tally. Right.
Showtime Poker says,
Flew by a little fast.
Justin, what is the best way to attack low stacks? Well, with bigger stacks. Duh. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think, we've talked about this before on the stream. I think somebody who's good, is it Jonathan Little who specifically does like some segments on attacking like lower stakes cash games? Because it's very different. I mean, fighting for your life at a 1-3 game is very different than fighting for your life at a 5-10 game, right? It's just you can make moves at a 5-10 game that you're not deep enough to get away with in like those lower stakes games. I would say, check out Jonathan Little, check out Crush Life Poker. Those are both two really good resources. For me, it's just practice, right? And at the end of the day, I play even lower than low stakes games. You know, when I was first cutting my teeth, every home game I could find, I played. Right? I wanted to play every 25-cent, 50-cent game I could play and take out all the beats and learn all of the tough poker lessons of life, if you will, for a much cheaper budget than going to a casino where they would only be spreading a 2-3 or a 2-5, and then I just hemorrhage cash.
So I'll chime in on that too. I feel like when someone is short stack, depending on how short that they are, you can definitely put a lot of pressure on them and get them to fold some of their medium hands, especially if they make a semi-weak bets or you sense any kind of weakness. You can just really shove on them and put them to a decision that oftentimes they're going to fold because of their stack size, depending on the spot. And you also have to play the player. Some players are just gonna shove with anything and then rebuy. But for those people who are really trying to work that short stack, they're likely to fold a lot of their medium strength hands to pressure. So aggressive pressure on those weak stacks, you're gonna be able to pick up a lot of pots. Anytime you sense any weakness, just go ahead and test it out.
Yeah, rereading that, actually, I read low stakes rather than low stacks. So that's why I was like, hold on, let me tell you all about this low stakes. But yeah, no, I concur with everything you said. Absolutely. So, guys, Win the Button tournament, by the way, I know it flashed on there for a minute. That's coming up. That is a lot of fun. Just like it sounds. Win the pot, win the button. Shout out to Poker Bee. What is going on? Speaking of tournament crushers out there in Vegas, because she just can't stop killing tournaments.
Yeah,
she's a tournament assassin.
I love me some Deb. Poker Bee, what's up? It's been too long since I've seen you. When are you coming back to Stones? When are we gonna hang out?
I feel like she's just crushing so much between LA and Vegas that when she finds time to finally come back and visit us in Sacramento. All right, so Jack 7 Jack here. Not a whole lot going on. Lady No Muck with the best of it currently with King High.
Yeah, she raised from the cutoff with $12 to $12. Some of these more aggressive players in a field of ladies who are play pretty tight, you can, by being a little more aggressive, win a lot of pre-flop pots, small pre-flop pots, and then really also outplay post-flop with aggression. A lot of ladies tend to play on the tighter side, and you can get them to fold out their weaker hands in their weaker range or on the weaker side, or even when you're not best, by just using some well-timed aggression here. So from later position, we saw Lady No Muck go ahead and do that. I like it. That is definitely the approach I would be taking in a ladies game. Although these aren't our average ladies, these are some crushers, so definitely expect to see some of them fighting back, as we did see some fight back there from the button, but she just couldn't continue with the 5-6. Yeah, the flops definitely have been sticky. If we're talking about the cards there, these special cards that are able to read so that we can see all the action and what the players have do tend to be a little bit harder to to flop out there.
Yeah, it's. I almost feel bad because I know that our dealers get a bad rap for that sometimes. But I mean, our dealers are so rock stars, but they're working with these decks that are a little bit. The cards are just a hair bigger than the usual size poker cards that we use, and then they're a little bit thicker and they're a little bit more frisky because of the little chips in them. But you know, we have to bring great poker action, man. If that's all we got to deal with, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yotek in there with the 8-3 of diamonds from the button, and she takes down the pot with just a straight draw by using some aggression and position. So important in poker, if you want to really crush, is to be using your position when you're in those later hands to be more aggressive and take down pots there with in that case, just with her draw.
One of the things I try to do when I'm teaching somebody who's new to the game or somebody who wants to learn poker, they don't understand the value of position. And I'm just like, no. This is why the button's so important. This is why you want to be. This is why you can play looser, a wider range of hands from the button. This is why you can be aggressive on the button, because you get to see what everybody else does before you. And then once it finally sinks in, you see like this whole game change come over them. Like, oh, I get it now. Like, oh yeah, like that's why I shouldn't be playing this way in first position, like right under the gun. But I should definitely be playing this from the button all day. In fact, raising with it more so.
Right.
You know.
The money flows to the left, so you want to be to the left of your more aggressive players, and you want some of those more nittier players on your left, so that you can take advantage in that way.
This is downtown.
It's the same kind of thing when they're like, all right, well, teach me poker, and you know, it's just two of us. Well, I mean, heads-up poker is not even the same game almost as like full ring 9-handed poker. You know,
totally different.
Like I can't really teach. I mean, so poker heads-up is like, okay, you have a king 3. Normally I'd say fold, but heads-up, play it or raise it. I mean, I don't, you know, like it's so. I don't know what to say to you.
It's a changing game every time someone leaves the table. It changes, or you have one less player, it changes the range of hands that you should be playing, calling, raising, folding with. And there are all charts for these things as well. A lot of people love to play the 6 max tables because you do get to play so many more hands, because so many more hands are a lot stronger, a lot less likely that your opponents have really super strong holdings, and this is where you can really outplay people post-flop if you're a well-studied player.
So at this point, I think Jake was choking.
Yeah, post-flop play becomes so much more important about knowing where you're at, when to go for value, when to go for the bluff, when to just get out of trouble as it gets more and more shorthanded, because you can't just sit around and wait for the monster set against 2 pair. You can't just sit around and wait for the dream scenario. As it becomes 7-handed, 6-handed, 5-handed, 4-handed, I mean, you have to start picking up pots.
Yeah, it tests your skill level, and it also your focus on being able to read and put other players on a hand range, because in all these spots, what we're really ultimately trying to do is not put our opponent on an exact hand. So sometimes when people say, like, oh, I thought that they had kings there. Well, we want to think more of in the sense of what range of hands did you think that they could have there. Sometimes we're good enough to put a person on the exact hand, that it does happen, but more often than not, we really want to be putting them on the range that we think that player is in, by assessing each player, how often they're raising, calling, folding, sizing, when they do turn over their hand, what kind of cards we see.
Look at that flop. Feels good to just flop the joint right there. Curdy flops the stone cold straight. Unfortunately, Amber with 7 deuce really doesn't have anything to come along, except for like the bottom end of the straight draw here. It's like a small bet on the flop, then a call by Amber, and then Curdy reaches for chips and Amber runs for the hills.
Are they playing the 7 deuce game?
I don't know. I think Amber even if we're not playing the 7 deuce game, I always want to, when I see 7 deuce, I want to win a pot with it just so I can flip it over. I feel like I don't even need incentive for that.
We do sometimes play the 7 deuce game here, where if you win a pot with 7 deuce, even if it's pre-flop, post-flop, whenever, then every player at the table owes you a certain amount of money, which all the players have agreed on prior. It's always a fun addition to any game.
It is, because then you're talking about putting people in a range. Well, now my range is, okay, what do you have, like queens, kings, or aces, or 7 deuce? And that's why I have nightmares.
So fun.
That's why I go home crying. I don't know what happened.
People end up calling because they think, well, it could be aces. Oh, but he probably just has 7 deuces.
Yeah, or like I lay down, I lay down my ace queen suited because you shipped into me, and I'm just like, of course you have 7 deuce. Now not only did I like totally give up the pot, now I have to pay you on top of it. This is why I punch pillows. I get so angry.
We also sometimes play the button game, where you can add additional money to the button, and until someone on the button wins, that money just accumulates. Once the button wins, then they get all the money.
Looks like we got a bomb pot. All right, so everybody's throwing in $10 here, and then it's going to be every player goes to the flop, and they play it out post flop. 80 in the pot. Game on. Now the crazy thing about a bomb pot is that you can't put anybody on a range at all. We can't. There was no raising. There's no action pre-flop. It might as well just be like we all just got fresh cards because we pretty much did. Now Red Rum is running into what we see a lot in these bomb pots, which is if the pre-flop, if she saw that, she would eliminate a lot of these crap hands. She would have raised. Everybody would have folded. But in this case, it's a scary, scary thing. But it's still going to get through.
Yeah, because luckily nobody really had anything here.
Yeah.
The most equity for that flop was a deuce 4 of diamonds with the flush draw, and a runner straight draw. So the ace king gets through.
Caritas
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, Caritas in the chat room. What's going on? I didn't know they actually gave you a day off here, buddy. It's crazy. So, did you talk with Lady No Muck at all? Is she local?
I don't know if she's local, but so Lady No Muck, if you guys are just joining us, she's almost always in our chat. I had no idea if she was actually even really a lady.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot of good questions.
Oh, I was definitely betting on like 400-pound big dude named Oscar or something.
A lot
right?
of questions,
Like, yeah.
totally expected that to might be a dude. But no, it really is a beautiful lady here who knows how to play some poker. She's been aggressive playing the button. She obviously has learned a lot from watching the stream consistently, and I've been liking her play so far. I want to see how this develops tonight. It's awesome to see somebody from the chat actually get in the game, and you guys can all do this too. Anyone can actually play on Stones Live. Contact Mr. JFK, and he can get you on the list.
Absolutely. Look at this, Lady No Muck. Some of that pure run good right here. Flops. Oh, too bad. Curdy's got nothing to come along. She flops the flush actually with an open-ended straight flush redraw.
Purdy only had the deuce there.
Yes.
No clubs.
In Showtime, yeah, the flush draw did fold, I believe, from the bomb pot, yeah.
Yes, the flush draw folded.
And that's the scary thing about bomb pots is, like you said, even if you have something like a 2-pair hand, I mean, because the range is so open and anybody could have anything, it's always a really scary scenario. A couple broadcasts ago, we saw a player really do a good job of exploiting that on the flip side, basically raising somebody with a decently strong hand out of the bomb pot because, again, they know you could have anything. And so, I mean, it was just this great, like, check raise with air, but it worked so well because of the dynamics of the bomb pot. So, and that was the only time I've seen anybody exploit that. Normally, everybody was really snug in a bomb pot.
Yeah, so sometimes bomb pots, I mean, maybe everybody gets a little piece, but like you're saying, nobody just, like, flops a set or nails really hard, and you really can get a lot of better hands to lay down with some aggression there. But yeah, somebody said scared money out of position. Yeah, with that many players in, it's just a little baby flush as well. Very likely somebody else could have had better diamond draw and didn't think, and she didn't think that was the best spot to put her money in.
Yeah.
So oftentimes looking not just to win, well, we like to win every pot, but sometimes we're just looking to pick our right spots to get the most money with the best percentage chance that we're actually going to win.
That is a fantastic question. I want to know where the hell I got that. We can ask.
So here we've got a battle of ace-4 suited versus the king-queen off. It's the hijack versus the button, so both players were in late position. Pot's already got $85 in it. Amber's the one who, so Evie, she checks, but she check calls Amber's bet. Again, seeing players float here.
Wow, and this board runs out to a 4-card straight. It looks like they're just going to check it down, but man, it's super easy to steal. 4-card straight comes and everybody checks to me. You can generally expect I'm going to fire in a bet.
Yeah, so Amber, as soon as she let out with some aggression there, leading with her king-queen on that flop. And then as soon as she got a little pushback, she shut it down. It's oftentimes going to take more than just one barrel really to get those bluffs through. I think if she had just chosen one more street of aggression, she definitely could have gotten the ace-4 to lay down there, most definitely. And I do like to see people floating here, like in that situation with that board, floating to see what happens, to see if your opponent is going to just give up and they're really not that strong.
We have to talk with the higher voices.
Evie coming along here with Queen 10. Looks like maybe a live straddle to 6.
Oh my god.
What's up, Stolen Van Gogh?
It's Rosie. His name's Rosie.
Ironically enough, yeah, Joel says, yeah, they've been in Vegas for 6 days. They're driving home now. I feel like with the flight prices lately to get to Vegas, I'm with you on the driving thing. Like this,
Are the flights really expensive right now?
I swear, well, anything out of Sacramento too. I mean, if you want to drive to like Stockton and fly out of there or whatever, sure. I mean, you know, gamble. I mean, just driving to Stockton for sure. But I don't know. It seems like the flights are super expensive lately, and I'm looking to go round trip.
Lady No Muck flops a straight, but she has a straight flush draw here. But Evie has her 10, so she's not going to hit her straight flush, but she does already have the straight here. She bets out 15. Evie calls. Evie has the straight, open-ended straight draw. She can hit a king or an 8.
Oh, and she hits the
and
king.
She hits the king to have the better straight.
Wow, and notice it came running to non-diamonds, so both players are like, am I good here, question mark? Yeah, I mean, that board, talk about slowing down action. It pairs the board on the turn, and then throws a higher straight potential on the river.
Yeah, so I like to see that check there on the river by Lady No Muck. That was pretty impressive to know that she may no longer be any good.
Oh, must be this high to ride.
Oh man, I think there's a height requirement now at the table. It's like getting on a roller coaster ride, I guess.
Seen a lot of trash hands so far.
There hasn't really been any big setups. We saw one player flop a set and some other stuff, but it hasn't really been like set to top 2 pair or nut flush draw to this. I mean, it's just kind of.
We see Lady No Muck continue her aggression from the cutoff here. It's folded around to her, so she goes ahead and puts in the raise to 12, trying to put some pressure on those blinds and even the button. So she does hit her king, but Sally on the button had ace jack, a real nice ace here. Purdy also had an ace.
Connects with her 9 too.
Yeah, she hits top and bottom. So Curdy way out in front here. She also has backdoor club possibility. Nobody has the diamonds.
So look at this. This is great. This is exact. Curdy's looking to check raise here originally in first to act. Lady No Muck bets 20. Sally raises to 45. And now what do you do if you're Curdy here? There is some crazy side action over here. Oh, wow. Wow.
All right, our room gets really exciting.
Oh my god, and even more exciting, look at this table now at Jack turns, the one card Sally needs to get better here. Wow. This is going to be fireworks
this is
here.
An action flop, so let's see what Sally does. She's on the button. So Curdy checks to her, allowing her to continue her aggression.
So
I think Curdy may have put this together enough to be in check calling mode.
Well, and Curdy just flatted the flop.
Yeah, she just setting herself up to get paid. Now, when she gets called by Sally and then the jack comes, she knows there's a lot of other better 2 pairs as well as possible straight out there. And I think she may actually be suspicious at this point. But she's in check calling mode. I definitely see her calling for sure, but definitely not raising.
Yeah, she's literally only worried about ace king. Oh my gosh! Now
she feels a lot better.
I know, you love hate it, right? Because now you're like,
now
okay,
your 9 is,
and your 9's counterfeited.
Your
now you're playing the kicker on the board,
right.
but you're not going to go anywhere.
Oh gosh, she shoves because she thinks she's dead.
This is 3 pair no good. That's And, I mean, at that point, so Curdy's trying to figure out basically there on the turn, does Sally have ace king or ace jack? I mean, those are the only two hands you're worried about. And then when the jack peels the river, you're like, if I don't put you on ace king, you're now less likely to have ace jack. That's a rough spot for Curdy to be in. That was the worst run out board ever for her.
Yeah, and it's painful for her. Yeah, she didn't love the jack because it did counterfeit her 2-pair, but again, it made her feel a lot safer in other ways as well, to feel safe to push.
Yeah.
But
Ghost of M, what's going on? Oh, and Showtime Poker, to answer a question from earlier, yeah, it's cheaper to fly out of SFO, San Francisco International, basically to anywhere. SFO is way cheaper to fly to anywhere than Sacramento, unfortunately.
yeah, so somebody said it was a weird shove by Purdy. I think she could have. Thank you, Stolen Benjo, for the follow on Twitch. We appreciate that. Yeah, I think she could have thought about it a little bit longer. She's also thinking that now with most other aces, she is chopping with aces and jacks and a king. So a shove there maybe could get a different ace to lay down. But yeah, she definitely could have been in check mode. I think it still goes down likely the same way regardless of
100%,
the shove.
100%.
So she's thinking maybe some fold equity there by going ahead and shoving river.
I agree with that 100%. Because, I mean, look at Sally fired 150 on the turn. Sally had almost exactly 150, if not slightly less behind. So Sally's not going anywhere pretty much at that point, at that pot size.
Yeah.
So by actually shoving out, you still have a small chance they could fold, I guess. I mean,
Right.
or guaranteed
You're
to
not
get
going
paid.
anywhere.
Likewise, you're not going anywhere. If you check call and you're not going anywhere, I'd rather bet and have a chance of them calling with something weaker. So I'm actually okay with that. Mr. Joey,
She
RSX02.
was already committed at that point, and
Yeah.
a Parisian, I see what you're saying, saying that it looks like fake aggression weak with a snap shove. I think she was already felt committed with the amount that had gone in and the stack sizes, and she felt like her only chance to actually win without a showdown was a shove.
Oh my
It's
God.
the battle of the ace kings. I would love to see somebody get the other player to lay it down here with some aggression, and I bet that would be Lady No Muck if it's anybody at all. We've just seen Curdy lose a huge pot. She's rebought. She's re-up for another 500. But I think Lady No Muck, by being able to lead out first position, is actually she rebought for more. She got
probably
like
at
7,
eight?
almost
Yeah,
800.
yeah.
She rebought for 800 because again we can buy in for the largest stack sizes here. But yeah, that aggression by Lady No Muck gets her to lay down.
Yeah, Curdy's like, I just bought these chips. I'm not trying to get out of control right now. I only have ace queen or ace king. Another thing with her is at least she did have position on that hand, so she could have maybe decided to foot once to see what happened. And then if Lady No Muck slowed down, could have possibly taken the opportunity to get it back away from her. But again, you just took a big beat. You just rebought some chips. It's time to slow down, rethink your transmissions, switch back into what gears are needed, and go again.
I was trying to snap keep the check, but I couldn't get him to turn around.
Yeah, Showtime Poker, I agree with you. I noticed when Sally was stacking out her chips that she was at almost what I call that awkward sizing stack, where she wanted to bet like 150, but she only had about 300, and she's like, do I just bet the 150 knowing that the other 150 is going to go in on the river, or do I just like snap shove the whole 3? I don't know, it's kind of funky. I think if she does shove the whole 3 there on the turn, does Curdy still call when the board's ace 9 king jack? That's a tough question. I don't know. That's
so
tough.
the diva from early position, understand +1, she raises a 20 with the king queen here. I like this raise. You definitely don't want to be limping from early position. So, and generally to raise from early position puts you on a stronger range of hands, because you need to be stronger to be raising from early position than later position.
I mean, talk about one of the perfect dream flops too, with ace deuce suited here, flopping a pair, a wheel draw, and a straight flush draw.
So yeah, the diva checks. She was the one who let out on, she did not see bet that flop. And she does go ahead and lay down and fold when she misses, which was a good
For sure. Oh
correct
yeah, she
option
was
there.
so dominant there. But the diva actually, I mean, I like the raise too, especially since so far she's been pretty snug at this table. She hasn't really got out of line. I mean, I personally am giving her credit for a pretty solid hand when she comes out swinging.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm just a random player XYZ at the table.
Right.
Lady No Muck coming in here, raised to 12 with King 9 suited.
She's in early to middle position. King 9 suited should be definitely at the bottom of her raising range for the position she's in. But against this lineup, who is a fairly tighter lineup, I don't mind it at all.
Pyro Shen saying Diva's really too short stack to make moves, even if she were to get aces and you know, obviously double up, she only goes up to about 100. I agree with you. I think at this game, I mean, if I have a few chips and I'm basically looking to either double up or go or whatever, or just push all in, that's one thing. Otherwise, if I'm looking though for any sort of like, you know, potential to build up some stack sizes, I want to probably be sitting with at least 100 minimum, because like you said, when you do wake up with a big hand like aces, you know, you want to get paid. So, Curdy here coming in with Queen 8 suited.
Oh, I found out who it is.
Oh man, it's so good. Oh, so good. Is that still in here? Is that still here?
No, because the game was full.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh.
That makes me. Okay, we need to get a picture of that. Okay, Jenna, I know you're listening. We need to get a picture of that for sure.
I don't know if I can replay it.
No, I don't think you can, but dang, we need one. If you can replay it, I'll like shoot a bunch of pictures of it. No,
Double
can you?
tap to replay. I don't know if I
Oh no,
should.
that's to reply.
Oh.
No, I don't think it'll let it.
can't.
Dang it. Guys, we found out who our special ladyboy was who wanted to play in the game.
So we thought that we had a cancellation, that we might have an open seat.
God, that was so good.
So suddenly we see a very unattractive lady come in with a beautiful pink hair, but it was the one and only
The bearded Jake Wonder with the most luxurious of
Jake.
pink locks flowing.
was going to come in as our 9th lady with his pink wig and
That
his
would
full
have
beard.
been amazing.
He just Snapchatted me. It was good. It was really funny.
I did not know
I would have
that.
loved to see him sit at this table.
All right, Showtime Poker. I want to answer your question here. Let's go through this hand and then talk about it. All right, so Red Room over here with King Queen from the hijack makes it 20 to go. Ace Deuce of Hearts. That hand's getting around. Amber's gonna come along, as is Sally. All right, Deuce 4-4 on the flop. Sally flops the best of it here. Let's see if Red Rum. I mean, it's c-betting is so popular, but the problem is when you try to c-bet on a board like Deuce 4-4. I mean, you either have a big pair or you don't. I mean, it's just kind of like, and people are gonna more often than not give you credit for something and then just start trying to make moves on you for this. I have no problem with not c-betting a flop of Deuce 4-4.
Tell him I would love. The game is filled, so now I'm just a sad cross-dresser.
Oh, you can hear it. Somebody else got the game was filled, so now just a sad cross-dress out. He must have shot it to Curdy. That's right. Looking at the same snap of Jake. Oh, communal. Oh. All right, so Showtime Poker says, Kasey and Justin, are you more of a math GTO player or feel players? Me personally, I think you have to be a healthy combination of both.
I would say the same.
Because there are times where a player's image and actions at the table negate me to basically adjust my percentages accordingly, right? So I'm like, if this guy is super crazy, normally I wouldn't call a super tight player here, but if I add it in, right, I'm like, I don't know. I'm for me personally, I like to play a little bit more loose against those players who I know can give me crazy action, because I think that at the end of the day, I just the upside potential there, like the implied odds, is fat. I mean, it really depends, but it's a healthy mix of both, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I definitely started out as a field player because I've been playing a pretty long time playing in the casino since I was 18. I'm 34 now. I definitely started out as a field player and had a lot of talent for the psychology and like reading people. I was always very good at reading individuals. But as I wanted to come up in the game and get better and learn, I really started to study the math side of it. And then in the last few years, add in the GTO side of things. So I feel like he said, you really have to know all aspects of the game and then bring them all together to play your A game. But at any given time, I'm always going to ultimately rely on my feel. So I've got the math running in my head, calculating. I have GTO. I'm trying to change up my range so that people can't put me on a hand, but also putting other players on a hand. But ultimately, I have to trust my instinct at any given moment to make the right card roll, because what I found is that when you built in all those things to your game, they start to just become like built in, and then you can really just need to just trust your instinct that it's all coming together.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer.
I think there's pitfalls of going to one extreme or the other. Playing only on feel and throwing all math out the window is insane. Oh, I just thought a flush was going to get there, so I'm going to go all in every time. Like that's insane, right? But likewise, if you play 100% math, I think that's easily exploitable, because now I feel that if you're not getting the odds to call me, I can just bet, even if I think you have a flush draw, and you do have a flush draw, I can just overbet it to make it not profitable for you to call based on math or GTO, and then you're going to fold every time. So I really think there needs to be a healthy mix of both. Aces are cheap here. Ace 6 for Red Rum, aces for Amber. I was like, here comes the ace on the flop for the final. Queen, Queen 9, not a lot going on here for Red Rum. Possible running diamond draw. Amber with way the best.
On the button here, she's going to just take it down because Red Rum doesn't have any piece of this.
So it's kind of interesting. So let's talk about, so she has aces. The board comes Queen, Queen 9. I think she was in position as well. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if somebody has a queen, they're not going anywhere.
Right.
And so, I mean, I feel like if anything, I check there because I either want to let them A, catch up, or B, if they do have a queen, at least I can lose less money, I guess, by flatting or figure it out differently at a different street. I don't know. For me, I think I have to find a check there with aces. You either have a queen or you don't. So either way, the turn really isn't going to change much. I'm not too worried about a straight draw. I guess it was queen.
Gives them a chance
yeah.
to maybe hit something. They likely don't have a queen. But then if they do lead out, so what would a queen, you also have to ask yourself, what would a queen do there?
They would check the flop.
Most of them would check the flop, and then they would bet out the turn. So then you're not able to, if you do check flop there, you're not able to eliminate a queen from their range. Whereas if you bet out there, and then they either call you or raise you, then you can still leave that in your range. So I see an argument for both ways, but yeah, I definitely, most often they're not going to have a queen in that spot. There's only 2 left in the deck, and so checking is going to get you more money out of your hand, giving them a chance to bluff at it on the turn, or hit one of their outs or some equity in the pot and make a little money for yourself.
Or even if they brick the turn, the fact that you check back the flop after being the pre-flop aggressor, maybe they lead out with air as well into you on the turn.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's like they
trying to rep it.
Yeah, they don't even need to hit anything. They could just lead out to you.
Absolutely.
But then again, you're also left second guessing yourself, like, crap, do they really have a queen? So now I'm less likely to start getting raise happy. I'm just gonna like flat and just hope I'm good. So it's kind of a weird spot to be in.
But you've exerted some pot control too by checking the flop there as well. So you're kind of like, well, if they've got a queen, they do. But you would have already invested more money in the flop and still be left with the same questions. So I do like a check there on the flop for multiple reasons.
Pyroshan, I like it. That's how you know we have a solid viewer of the show, and they're like, so, which seat's getting the salad tonight? Getting that rung good. For those of you guys who don't know, it's like a notorious legend that if you pretty much eat a salad, if you order a salad at the table, the run good is real. Your aces will hold up. You might even get kings to win. It's true. The Assassin's Bounty Guys coming up Sunday, April 15th. Don't miss it. A lot of fun. It's your normal bounty tournament, but with the one exception that you can actually trade in the bounty chips for tournament chips. It is a lot of fun. The final table is like, the chat goes crazy on that final table because there's so many times players should be trading in chips to not be the short stack to ladder up in the money, and they don't. And it's just super fun and tilting to watch all at the same time. Aces again now going around the table for Evie.
For Curdy, she 3-bets to 25 on the button, trying to put the pressure here on some of these early positions, and with her ace 10.
Why is a nail the solution to the portal? I'd like to know why a nail though? Like, is it a special?
The danger of 3-betting here with the ace 10 is you're likely only going to get called by a better hand against most players.
And I think now that Evie is 4-betting to 100, I think this is giving Curdy the info that she needs to know.
To know how to get away from it. So that is the advantage of 3-betting there is you get, either you're going to get a fold right there and you'll win the pot straight away because nobody had much, or you'll get a 4-bet, you'll get your information. Also, if you do get a call, you're better able to put them on a range of hands that's stronger and able to more closely narrow their range down.
Yeah, so Curdy's basically trying to figure out right now, okay, so what would you 4-bet me with? Probably jacks or better, or at least some sort of like ace queen, ace king. Most likely I'm crushed here, and I'm running for the hills, and that's exactly what she does.
Right.
I don't think Jake should have gone home just because he couldn't get in the game with the pink wig. I think he should just go out to the bars. He should make a night of it.
He should not have left just like that.
And people will be like, what's the wig about? And he'd be like, I just got a case of the Mondays, man. You know, just me.
That's why I was asking you, then you believe me. She doesn't want me to close the phone. No, I'll take care of him when I get home.
A lot of chatter on the table. Let's see if we can just list it in for a minute and see what some of these ladies are talking about.
She's got no business cards. Professional portal closer.
I missed that, but did you like talk down from the ledge? Like, no. So I asked your neighbor and go,
And I said, where are you right now? She's like, I'm in your driveway. She goes, I'm going to win. And I said, I'm going to feed the cats, use insulin, and for your sake. Please let
DMC Clary 22. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Normally there's a little animation that like people get when we follow, but you actually give the real thing. That's legit.
Yeah. Any follow gets a blown kiss.
Nice. So Amber and Yo Teach are the only players with hearts.
They're on my payroll. They're on my payroll.
Yeah, love the talkative tables is what Stone's Live Poker says. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to be at a table where the more talkative, the more fun everyone's having, the more loosey-goosey they are with their chips. And if your table is really just solemn and no one's talking, see if you can change it. You bring the life to the party. You bring the fun. Try to make friends with your neighbor. Ask them some questions. Throw a joke out there. Like, just try to liven it up. Like,
So one of the things that, I mean, me and Veronica have talked about the first time we met, and we get to this table and we instantly, me and her are both the people trying to liven it up. So there's instant, chemistry there. But straight up, do you really want? And no, okay. This is.
Anyway.
So no, I was gonna say,
I just couldn't help it.
you gotta buy drinks for the entire table. I'm telling you right now, it's the best $40-50 you ever spent. You'll make $500 on your money back on the night. I swear to God, just do it. The best tables are tables with people who are laughing, having fun, and when people just are going all in a peaky, they lose their money, they get up and they say, hey guys, it's been great, I gotta go, you guys are awesome. They're not mad, they're not throwing things against the wall, they're just like, dude, hey, it's been a blast, you guys are awesome, I'll catch you later. Because then they come back for more again. Every time.
Absolutely.
Don't needle somebody because they play bad. That's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard on the planet.
Nice hand. Good play. Like, love it. Love to see the way you played that here. We don't always want to try to make everybody better. Like.
Sometimes we just want to accept that you're just going to be okay, and we'll take it.
Yeah, keep recreational players recreational.
Oh,
this is why
man.
Nick Schulman got so much crap for his commentating, because they're like, his commentating is so good, it is just raising the water level so high. We don't necessarily know that we want to raise up our recreational players that much and see how deeply he thinks about the game. I could listen to Nick Schulman talk about poker all day. He's definitely like who is my dream, except besides you, like you're my number one in the booth.
Yes.
But after Justin Kelly, you're
Nice.
Schulman.
But he's your like
Road.
celebrity side bay. Okay, cool. Sweet. Nice. Right on. I'll take it. Everybody's got one. That's cool. That's cool. Stone's Life Poker with the sick needle to me saying, or just throw $40 all in the dark. So this is what I'm talking about. There's a home game down the street that I go to sometimes, and I just like to come in and play it like it's a blackjack table. So I just shoot $40 all in no peaky the first 3 or 4 hands, and whatever happens, happens. I'm very open about it. I tell everybody I'm doing it, and it creates a shitstorm of action, and we love it.
Yes.
Sometimes it goes really great for me, and other times I just donate a quick, $120, $150 real quick. Either way, it's a blast.
I know so many players that run up huge stacks with the strategy of coming in, making big bluffs that get caught, or just betting really big, being really aggressive early on, and then nobody gives them any respect for the rest of the night, and then they get paid all night long and run up the hugest, fattest stacks. A lot of players that I can think of. I won't call y'all out right now.
Well, I would say I actually do that unintentionally because I just get caught with my hand in the cookie jar. So I start out my poker sessions with a shovel and just dig a fat hole. But then I build a ladder and then I build like a small fortress compound on top of it. So we're good. I basically just pre-dig a basement, I guess is what I do.
Now, on a lot of these right tables, though, you do that and you can still get it back easily, you know? All spades. Amber with the only spade, this little baby one. She can't think much of it. Everybody here playing some junk. She also has a straight draw here, and she hits her straight on the turn. Amber now with the straight.
And the only player with a spade, right? So
yeah, she has this whole board. Nobody has any piece of that, and everyone's a quick fold.
Can I just say one more time, if you're watching, Jake, how upset I am that you're not in the game with a bright pink wig? Can I just say that? I think I need to say that.
Service on 11.
You guys are awesome in the chat. Once again, if you haven't done so yet, click the follow/heart/subscribe button. We appreciate you guys being here with us. We broadcast at least every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and a lot of cool events outside of that.
What's up, Monster Hands? My friend says, hey.
Sally with ace-10 suited here, raising a 13. Ace-10 suited is one of those hands, obviously we saw Curdy run it into aces earlier, but ace-10 suited is one of those hands I'd rather be raising with than calling a raise with, because I always question where I'm at in the hand at that point. I'm just like, oh, because even ace-jack has you just murdered, right? So when it flops like ace-rando-rando, I still am really cautious about it, and I don't know.
Yeah, ace-10 can be one of the hands more confusing to play. There is a lot of training that you can do on hands like this. When I first started using training sites, I really was interested in learning more about these ace-10, ace-jack type hands, especially from an earlier position, like she's playing it from here. It's like, well, it feels too strong of a hand to just straight fold, but, I always somehow end up against a better ace. How should I play this? There's a lot of great strategies out there. Run it up, Crush Life Poker, Red Chip, Upswing. Go check them out, and you can really get deep into how to play these hands in different spots.
Now check this out. Battle of the two overs versus the two pairs. Sevens does spike a set here. Evie, however, the only player with a diamond still in the pot.
Nice. Would love to see the set. However, it would be better if somebody, could have hit a queen here. Evie does have the pocket sixes, but she goes bye-bye. Sally with the ace-10, she doesn't have much on this board for her either, and no diamonds, so...
And see, it sucks because, your red room, right? If it's 5-7 queen rainbow, you can actually just have a check. You can play the hand a totally different way. But when the board comes all coordinated and all suited, you're forced to fire out generally an oversized bloated bet. And if somebody calls you, you just hope they're not calling you with the flop nut flush, and all you're praying for is board pair.
Right.
And you're like, ugh.
Luckily, that pot had some good action pre-flop, so she was still able to take down over $200 with her set.
So Curdy was reaching in for some raising chips here.
She raises to 11 with the ace-9 off. She's also in early position. This would oftentimes be a fold for me, but again, on a ladies table that plays fairly tight, can definitely mix in some raises here.
where they are. It's terrifying.
King Queen 6 rainbow here. Lady No Muck does flop the best of it. Both players check now to the turn. A 3 shouldn't really change much here. Lady No Muck taking the firing angle. Absolutely, I like that all day long. And quick fold for Curdy. The Diva just chilling here on the short end at 47 bucks. I think the Diva just needs to order a salad and then watch that money get run.
Sometimes I like to just practice playing a short stack game, finding a good hand and shoving with it and winning a lot, either likely winning a lot of hands pre-flop or doubling, tripling up.
What about a short-handed game?
There we go.
This mix max coming up is going to be rad. Starts at 8-handed, then they redraw at 6-handed play when there are 48 players. Then at 24 players, they go down to 4-handed play. For the final 8 players, they go heads up. But you know the coolest part about that tournament is you keep your chip stack all the way through. So when you go into a heads up battle, you could have the other guy out chip 6-1 to start.
That's really fun. I want to play in that.
Right? I mean, like if you like a 6-max tournament, that tournament should be your wet dream. I don't know what you're waiting for, so definitely get in here and sign up. All those players who refuse to chop when they hit final tables, those are going to be the guys winning that tournament. Because those are guys who are used to playing 6-handed, 4-handed, 2-handed,
Right.
heads up, you know what I mean? Everybody else is like, oh yeah, every tournament I ever made a final table, I chopped when we were 4-handed. They have no idea how the hell to play 4, 3, or 2-handed.
Why do I just love you right now, Justin?
It's true.
This is what I taught. This is what I preach all the time. Like, stop with all the choppy. I know there's an argument for it. I know that there's a good amount of money to be had with chopping, but what is it? Are you a short-term thinker or are you a long-term thinker? I mean, if you want to get better long-term, you're not going to do it by always chopping.
And I don't know what your goal is in poker, right? But let's say your goal is to win a bracelet or win a ring. You're not going to win that by chopping. You're just not. Right? Well, okay, I know you can cite certain examples in relatively crazy recent news where people kind of chopped and bought their way to a ring, but most of the time, the majority of the time, that's never, ever, ever going to happen. So you have to be able to do it. Prime example, we just know somebody who was really close to a ring, finished 2nd and 3rd in a ring event, right? It sucks. You got to get that close, but the only way you're going to win that ring is to get all the way down to the end.
Right. So, you know, play some of these. If you're really want to always chop when it's for a lot of money because it's important to you, then start playing a lot of smaller events and refuse to chop in those smaller events. And just, you know, if you want to chop, wait till you've got some sort of big action. I mean, I would say don't chop then either, but ultimately you have to do what's best for you.
What about Pyroshen? Did you answer this question here? What about chopping some of the money and then playing for the extra?
I like that.
Yeah, I've definitely done that too. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that too. I mean, it helps mitigate the risk, but you're still playing for the extra.
Right.
Prime example, let's see, when Lawn Car had that big tournament, the Sunday Millions online, they made a deal where each player did it was like a partial ICM chop. So each player ended up walking with over 100K, which would have been like basically 2nd place plus money, but then they played for an extra 15K or something on top of that for whoever won from the final 3.
Right.
And it was super cool.
Now, it can, depending on the sizing of what you chop, it can definitely change the way people play. So that's something to keep in mind because ultimately people may play way more aggressively or really try to go for that first place spot once they know they already have a certain amount of money locked up. So it may not be an authentic read of how it would actually play if you hadn't chopped for partial. So it's just something to keep in mind. But I think it's definitely better than just straight chopping.
All right, so new dealer, guys. That means bomb Potosaurus time. This is normally the point where Veronica looks at me and gives me the look because she hates when I attach it to a dinosaur name, but it's true. So this is a bomb pot, and every player throws in 10 bucks, 9-handed to the board, and they play it out.
Ooh, so yeah, Lady No Muck with the straight flush draw here, and she already has the made flush with the queen high flush.
Got the royal draw,
the
too.
royal draw, exactly.
Wow.
I've drinking like 5 waters now, and I really need to go to the ladies, but I don't want to miss this hand. Now,
Because if you walk away, she's going to bank a royal for sure.
Yo Teach has jacks and 7s here. So definitely, Yo Teach is going to be making the call.
I love our chat. Wait, open-ended royal, what? Oh, wow. Wow, so she really doesn't need that card at all. Her flush is more than enough, but now she has the straight. What else can she? She want to like finish on a pair or something too? Let's get that royal. And that's quick fold by Yoteach. That's such a scary board. Bottom two pair is almost never going to be good there, and even if it happens to be good there on the turn, there's so many cards that counterfeit and kill you on the river. You want nothing to do with that board.
Okay, must go to the ladies.
Sweet. Will you grab me another cup of ice?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Hey, that's a great question, actually. Waprai said, I've only had one royal in 25 years of playing. So let's focus specifically on Hold'em, just Texas Hold'em. How many of you have had a royal? I still have not. Like, literally after well over a decade of playing, I've never had a royal at a Hold'em game. I was actually there when they dealt I was playing when they actually dealt a straight flush 9 to king on the board, and nobody had the ace. But yeah, no, I still haven't had one. Unfortunately, my royals are limited to video poker. Stone's Life Poker, sick brag, too many royals, that's why I can't get one, because you're sucking them all out of the atmosphere. All right, 3, 9, 10 here on board. Diva with a couple of overs and open-ended, not much else going on. Gen 6 is still a contender. Diva is shipping all in for her last chips. Absolutely, that's a no-brainer here for her. Oh, Queen on the turn, 3 on the river. That is gonna be good. That's gonna be good. It was cheap enough for Jen to make the call there on the flop, and yeah, Diva just had too many outs. So it looks like Sally and Lady No Muck both are big stacks at the table, right around 750 bucks. Once again, you guys are watching Stone's Live Ladies Night. This is a 1-3 no limit game brought to you from Stone's Gambling Hall outside of Sacramento, California. Stones doesn't have hourly high hands, but I believe they have quads that you can hit throughout the day, and if you hit them actually later at night, I think they're maybe worth double. They have like an obscene amount of promotions that they're changing all the time, so they always have really good stuff going on as far as promotions go. I can't actually see them right now, but I'm sure Stone's Life Poker can chime in with some of them. So Amber makes it 15 to go here. Lady No Muck calls with a superior hand. Queen 10 of hearts. Great flop for Lady No Muck with a flush draw. Not much going on for Amber here. Damn, Zarthon Gaming says I've had 4 royals as a player and I've given 6 as the dealer. Good for you. Alright, 5 of diamonds peels, ace of hearts on the river. That is going to give the check mark to Lady No Muck all day. Amber then, because both players check the turn, decides to fire into Lady No Muck on the river. And Lady No Muck's thinking, how do I extract some value here? Looks like Amber fired 30. No Muck shipping and a raise. Instant fold by Amber, obviously. Not much she can do there. God, that's a crappy feeling when you fire an air barrel bluff and then you look at somebody and they're stacking out chips to raise you and you're like, ugh, I hate my life. It's true. I've been there all too many times. Oh, there you go. Okay, so it's called the big board. All quads get paid as long as both cards play. All quads start at 20 bucks, but then each time one gets hit, the rest go up by 20 bucks. That's cool, because I know that I was here late night, and one was worth a few hundred, and then they hit it, like, in the middle of the night, so it got doubled. So you got like 400 bucks for quads. Oh, yeah.
What do we got? What do we got?
Nothing much going on. Another flush for Lady No Muck there.
Nice. Definitely have seen Lady No Muck mixing it up, and it's been paying off for her.
Thanks for coming back, Lady No Muck, flopping the straight like a beast. A Red Rum here, firing out first act. She was our original aggressor pre-flop. She raised 20 pre, now she's betting 30 on the flop. Oh my god.
Thank you, love.
Bam. She was like, can I come in there? I don't know if I can come in.
Yeah, this is Lady No Muck. I think it's her first time on the stream. We definitely see her in the chat all the time, but I doubt it will be her last if her run good continues like this. So let's see, how should she play this here? She flops the world. She's got a hand here with Ace Jack who has a better flush draw.
Yeah, and she's got to think here. She did let Red Rum there lay the price on the flop and then just flatted. Now, when the turn comes and Red Rum starts slowing down, you can kind of take the flush out of their range. So I would definitely fire if I'm Lady No Muck. I'm never going to give Red Rum a free card. She did. She fired 40. Would have liked to see maybe a slightly bigger fire, but it doesn't matter. She's going to get value from Red Rum here. And now even more value. This is kind of a love-hate card for Red Rum because they do bink top pair now with the ace, but it puts 4 cards straight on the board. Actually might end up saving her money potentially because Lady No Muck has her so crushed. Oof. Nope, we got a fire here.
Yeah, Red Rum's gonna continue here.
She's thinking I might be able to actually get value if my ace is good. Otherwise, I could rep like a flush or potentially a straight and blow you off the hand. So let's. I think Lady No Muck, I don't think she should be raising here. I think it should be a pretty straightforward call for her though. But I don't know, 120 is a pretty hefty bet. I mean, look at the bet sizing. But then you got to ask yourself why so much. 20 pre-flop, 30 on the flop. Then Lady No Muck gets 40 on the turn. Now on the river, 120. It's a triple size bet from the previous one.
Yeah, I do think it's definitely a call. Definitely no raise because of the flush that's out there.
Yeah,
Lady
for
No
me,
Muck definitely giving this a lot of
yeah,
thought
for
here.
me, if I'm in Lady No Muck's shoes, it's one of the okay, prove it, show me the flush. Otherwise,
Right.
I have you murdered, right? I mean, that's.
Red Rum feeling a little frustrated here.
Yeah, the river was a really weird river for Red Rum there because it like didn't complete her hand, but it completes her hand enough to where she still wants to be involved. And so, what does she do? Does she check call? Because you know if she checks, Lady No Muck is going to fire 90% of the world there. It doesn't even matter if she has 5-6. The board's now 4 cards straighted. You're essentially checking, saying that you don't have the straight or the flush if you're Red Rum. So I think Lady No Muck's going to fire all the time there. And if you're Red Rum, you're probably just going to flat call with the ace, maybe. So I don't know.
She's like trying to lay her own price, maybe, to make showdowns so that she's not having to face like a really huge bet on the river there. And I think she thought she was likely best, but
Aunt Doom in the house on YouTube. What's up, buddy?
that board was just really, really wet. And so with just an ace there, not really enough for her to continue, I think, all the way down to the river on that spot.
Aces getting around aces again for Evie. It should say Evie the aces queen here. And every time we've seen aces, another player always has ace rag.
Yeah,
Right? Every time.
Yep.
Every time. No different here. Queen high board. Luckily for the other players, not a lot going on for them.
Yeah, both Amber and Lady No Muck have really high heart cards here that if the turn comes a heart, but they both fold out to the aces bet here, and she's just gonna take it down free.
Showtime Poker asks, are you guys playing the WPT 500 at Aria this summer? I am going to be playing a lot in Vegas this summer. I would imagine the majority is going to be between the Rio and Aria. So sources point to most likely yes. I'm going to go out there and just bug Sean McCormick all summer because
Nice.
he'll be extremely busy and he'll be like, I don't have time for any of this. And I'll be like, I know, that's why I'm doing it right now. Besides, if he's working, then I get to go babysit his new car. That apparently I'm the reason he blamed me for them buying it. So, you know.
So Lady No Muck, we see her raising with ace rag suited here to 12 from early position. She's been running really hot, so she's mixing it up, playing a lot of hands. It's impossible to put her on a range right now. And she still hits the best. Does she hit the best of it?
Wait, was there a 4 out there?
Is there a 4?
Oh, no, there wasn't. I was like, man, Sally with the run good. Okay,
There's
but yeah.
no
yeah.
4. Yeah, so Lady No Muck hits the best of it yet again. Only 1 overcard to her 5. And she's probably going to c-bet here because she was the pre-flop aggressor.
Anytime someone
And she was from early position. See, did she? Yeah, she bet out to 20, just like a small little bet. She went from 12 pre. She got quite a few callers. She bet out 20. Just small size bet. She gets called in one spot because Curdy has the ace deuce. She's been playing so many hands that she's getting called by a lot of players because they're seeing her turn over these 5-6, this wide range of hands. And they're not wanting
what
to
a
play her.
weird river. The river actually gives, would have given a set actually to Sally.
It's in the straight.
Yeah, but it does give them both the straight.
See how
Wow.
they decided to play it.
I
Lady
thought
No
Sally
Muck's
was still in
first
for a minute,
action
yeah.
here. She's definitely going to bet out with her straight. Let's see what sizing she chooses. $92 currently in the pot. Now, she can't put Curdy on a 6 here just because of the way the hand. Well, actually, she could. 6 could be in Curdy's range.
You could have some sort of 5-6, 6-7 type hand.
She was looking for. She could have been looking for a draw with either a flush or a straight. So 6 is definitely could be in her range. What sizing did she choose? They're gonna split it here.
Yeah, it looks like sizing. It looks about $60, $70, something like that.
Okay, so she chose about a 2/3 pot size bet, thinking she was best here, and she was.
Pyroshen, there we go. You said any concern for a 6. I mean, you could see how I could see kind of maybe a 5-6 or 6-7 in that range somewhere.
Yeah.
But what's more scary is when there's a flush draw on board, because then somebody always can make the straight and be like, oh, I was on a flush draw and look how this weird run out went. You know what I mean? We see that a lot too.
Yeah, I was initially thinking 6, not so much in the range because of the way the hand played out, but as I thought back to it with that board, it is very likely that there was 6. You couldn't take a 6 out of her range. She could be calling there with any mixture of straight, flush possibilities that have a 6 in them. Yes, I think Curdy does have a little bit of that Emma Stone beauty to her.
And she's definitely got the Emma Stone personality, which goes a long way, because Emma Stone's hilarious.
Yeah, she has a great personality. Very fun and friendly. Easy to make friends with. We're going to have the hearts all around here. Jen and Lady No Muck. If we get a hearty flop, then this could...
A hearty flop?
hearty
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I like it.
Get some action. Lady No Muck, under the gun, raises a 12. She's been being really aggressive, raising almost every pot here. People aren't giving her a lot of respect, calling her, but she's been hitting every flop. She's been playing really well.
Boom.
Jen with the best.
Lady No Muck avoiding possible big trouble by flopping no hearts. Little does she know.
She's gonna c-bet though here. She let out on the river, she let out pre, so she's gonna continue on the flop here. She has 2 overs to the board. Board pairs. Jen's still best. She's gonna go ahead and lead out, and Lady No Muck correctly makes a good fold here.
So earlier, a couple hands ago, we saw somebody raise 12, and everybody called. And then it's really funny. Just talk about pre-flop raising size. That's one of the things that when I sit down at a table, that's one of the first things I want to establish. Generally, I'll be kind of tight when I sit down at a table just because I want to watch what other players are doing, get an idea of the overall table feel, because everyone's different. But a lot of things is you'll learn real quick that, let's say it's a small, it's like a 1-3 game, right? Some 1-3 games, you're raising a $12, $15, and everybody's folding. Other 1-3 games, you raise 12, $15, and you get 7 callers.
Right.
Right? And so you have to figure out exactly kind of where that pre-flop raising range is. Like you said earlier, it was $12, everybody wanted in. Maybe if you make it $20 or $25, you're going to narrow that range down to 1 or 2 calls as opposed to 4 to 5 calls on the regular.
Yeah, that's really just trying to classify every player at your table as to what range they are calling, folding, and raising with here. We've seen a lot of players here willing to call an initial bet and even possibly a flop bet, but running for the hills as soon as the aggression continues on the turn and river. That can be highly exploitable with some of these more aggressive players. We see that a lot with now a lot of these ladies are really experienced, but we see that a lot with inexperienced players where you're just wanting to call and see if you nail the board. That's not a winning strategy in poker. We're not just calling hoping to make a hand. We are putting our opponents on their hands and their hand ranges and seeing how we can exploit that range using the cards that come, and that's much more of a winning style.
Whopper, yeah, Sean did send me your guys' cute little selfie over there at the Aria. I'm always jealous. Sean basically sends me pics like hanging out with you and Joel and Deb and everybody else, and then everybody's always like, why aren't you here? And I'm like, I'm asking myself the same question.
Here he is. It's a plus card.
All right, King Jack 6 here on the flop. Looks like Yo Teach Yo definitely binks the 6, as does Lady No Muck. Lady No Muck with way the better kicker.
2 overs though is kind of making the action go slow here with just bottom pair for both players. But Yo Teach does continue here by betting out 15. Lady No Muck's going to not muck. And now she has top bottom. She's definitely not going anywhere. I'm surprised to see Yo Teach
Still firing at it.
I think
The board is going the opposite direction of where she wants to
Teach
go.
pre-flop raise. Let's see.
Yeah, Yo Teach did raise, so that's why.
Yo Teach pre-flop raise. So she's saying it doesn't matter what my 2 cards are. I'm telling you what cards I have.
Yeah.
And she's saying that her range is this board, the Ace, King, Jack, Queen, 10 type of cards, because she was our pre-flop aggressor and she continued on the bet, and because Lady No Muck's been so aggressive, she felt confident in being able to continue. If Lady No Muck had not hit the ace on the turn, that would have been exactly what I was talking about not just giving up early on, but doing that second barrel, sometimes getting a third barrel through, having to do a second and third barrel. However, Lady No Muck did hit top pair on the turn there, so it just wasn't getting through. But I really like Yo Teach not giving up so quickly and continuing to fire and telling the story. We talk a lot about this, about what story are you telling in poker. Yo Teach was not telling the story that she had 6-7. She was telling the story that she had high cards there. She started telling that story pre-flop. She continued telling it after the flop and on the turn. On the flop and on the turn. So although it didn't work out for her there, I like it, Yo Teach. Keep up the good work.
Or then he Snapchatted me a really funny video of him crying in the car with her wig on.
So now we've got a couple of nice hands here. Some of those suited connectors that are in the higher range. Jack 10 of diamonds for Red Rum from Under the Gun +2. Lady No Muck's got King 9 of spades. Amber with Queen Jack of hearts. A lot of suited connecting hands here. And this, we might just see like a little baby flop come out here since so many large cards are out there. But who knows? This could be an interesting one. Everybody has a playable hand.
I didn't expect that was not.
And Amber was our pre-flop raiser from the button.
How good does that feel when you raise in position with Queen Jack and flop top 2 all day?
Yeah, so now Lady No Muck has a straight draw and backdoor flush. Red Rum hit second pair here.
Lady No Muck would love to appeal to cheap card. $40 is probably a little more than she wants to spend. However, she knows that obviously she hits the 10 most likely. It's good. Very few people will probably be in there with Ace King.
And there's a lot of other good turn cards for her.
Yeah,
King is great for her. Another spade is great for her as well. I think that Amber could have maybe chose. Her pre-flop size was 20.
Ooh.
She got called in 3 spots. So.
Well, this is just going to seal it up for Amber. Amber is just crushing this board
I'm not
right
sure
now.
somebody else had laid down a jack there, and they've got to be kicking themselves for laying down the jack. However,
Little
it was
do they
a
know,
correct-
right? Oh
yeah,
my
it was a
gosh.
correct hold there. Now this is probably going to be where Lady No Muck says good night.
That was, yeah, the worst card for hand improvement she could have seen there. No, she's obviously looking for the 10, the spade, the king, any piece of it there. Now, if she does make this call, I'm going to say it's purely to rep a jack and hope that Amber slows down here on the river, and then Lady No Muck can stab at it, although that's not going to work here.
Well, now she spikes at 9. And so she's in check calling mode here. What I did like to see from Amber, so her sizing pre was 20. She got 3 callers. Then she chose 40 on the flop, which was fine. But then she went down to just 50 on the turn because she just was killing this flop. She wasn't wanting to fold out some of her weaker hands. So she did choose a little bit smaller sizing. You know, she didn't double her bet again. She made it small enough to draw Lady No Muck in and get some value out of this nutted hand. Now she bet she bets out 80 into a pot that was, what, it was about 270, 280, 270. And she bets out 80, which is, again, a smaller sizing to try to get paid off here.
Yeah, it's definitely very value-y, comparatively speaking, right?
Yeah, now Lady No Muck would definitely be insta-folding here, but she hits a 9.
Yeah.
This still should be a fold here, because Amber has, from beginning to end, she has not slowed down. You've got to be suspicious.
So yeah, so she does make the call. She's gonna say prove it. You know, the thing is that it's not, there's not a lot of really draw hands on the flop besides like a potential straight draw. There wasn't a flush draw out there from the flop. So the fact that she raised pre and then fired it all the way down, at that point when you're Lady No Muck with King 9, you're pretty much kind of like in a bluff catch scenario. You're like, I really need you to either have nothing or, you
But
know.
from that player who has not been active, we haven't seen her making a lot of bluffs. It should be a fold in that spot. Now, Lady No Muck's just been running really good at this table, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen her fold. Even on the turn, she could have laid it down there because just based on the player, she should be playing the player there.
Well, and I think, let's face it, I don't mind the call on the flop because, like we talked about, there is so many cards that can open up your world on the turn. But once the turn board pairs the jack, it's just like, there's nothing for me. There's nothing for me here. This is not the pot I'm looking for at this point.
So yeah, so I think Lady No Muck saying, well, that jack tells the story that you're less likely to have a jack here. So unless you have a queen, you know, then you don't have much of anything here except for some big cards. So I understand Lady No Muck's logic. However, the story was just too strong for too long for her to actually be bluffing.
And let's say she did have ace king and she just decided to air barrel it down because she would have flopped a straight draw. I mean, she would have beat ace king.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and here's the thing, though. When Lady No Muck is continuing to call, you're going to see that she was going to get suspicious. She would have slowed down at some point. She's not going to keep firing all the way down there at being called the whole way and not be suspicious. So.
So I know Christopher there in YouTube had asked where this is located. Yeah, we are located right outside Sacramento, California. Right off Highway 80, you can't miss it. There's some giant light up signs. If you have a Highway 80 near you and live in the United States, it's the same one. Get on it and drive here.
Yeah, Christopher. Also, if you want to go ahead and hit the subscribe or like button, you'll always get notified when we go live. We have great games running all the time, especially April's going to be a huge month for us. We've got a lot of huge crushers. If you love poker, you're going to love to see some of these names that are coming up that are going to be guest commentating as well as playing on. So definitely don't want to miss out on April at Stones. If you can't be here, hit subscribe, like. You're going to get a blown kiss from me, and you're also going to get notified whenever we go live, and you're not going to miss out on it. This is one of our smaller games, our ladies' night. It's a 1-3 game. We run some really large games. Friday's usually our big game night. Sometimes it's 10-25, 5-10, 20, all sorts of different size in there. We also do mixed games and tournaments.
Look at this weird sick board run out. So flush draw for Jen, ace high for Yo Teach, but then it actually goes running 8-10 to give Jen just a wicked high straight. It was like a straight out of Boston. That straight was wicked high. Wicked had straight right there. And then actually gave Yo Teach top pair, but it wasn't enough to continue on. So she bets it to win it. And that is Jen there, by the way, in seat 1. She is another one of our lovely dealers here at Stones. Yeah, like I said, our dealers are on point. I know you can tell sometimes from these sticky RFID cards, but I swear, come in and play and you'll see. You'll see. We talked about it before. It's one of those things where we don't notice how spoiled we are until we go somewhere else and see other people dealing poker, and we're like, oh, I get it now. iCode 777, now following on Twitch. Thank you very much for the follow.
Love to see the follow. Thank you. Pocket nines for Evie. Some nice hands here all around. Amber's got the ace jack of hearts. She's the one who puts in the raise. She gets called in 3 spots. We've got a pot of $63 right here. Board. So Curdy hits her queen here. Jen has pocket 10s. Only one overcard to both Jen and Evie, so they're both feeling pretty good about it.
Let's hear for running 9-10, huh?
Yeah, but Amber, even though it's 4-way, she's the one she c-bets her ace jack here. She's 4th best on this board.
Now, real quick, I saw a quick little glimpse of it over there. Yo Teach actually busting out some cash to add on. Oh, wow.
So Amber now with a lot more equity here because she hits her nut flush draw. gives her a great card to continue her story on.
Oh my god, if she
That's
goes
out
potential
75.
runner flush, nobody's gonna see that coming.
Now, Curdy with the queen calls. The nines, both other hands, they both fold out here. So no heart for Amber. She checks.
And now Curdy with the best here. Curdy is just gonna flip over. After Amber was definitely firing all those streets, Curdy was best. Hey, if you're gonna check it to me, I'm gonna show down there. You could have gone either way there. I think with Curdy's play on the river, you could have, if they checked it to you, you could have gone for some thin value at that point. But either way, I just want to. I think Curdy at this point, happy to drag the pot. Doesn't really care about the end there.
I agree with you there. I think it is a bet though on the river. Whenever Amber slows down on that river and shows that amount of weakness, you have to believe. Thank you, S. Steve. I see you there. And you have to believe that your queen is likely, very likely best. She's showing that weakness, that amount of weakness, and maybe a small river bet there gets paid off by second, third pair kind of hands.
Yeah. And I'm always the sucker where the second I start slowing down, somebody obviously always picks up on that, and they have position on me, and they start exploiting that, and they start betting, and then I want to call them because I'm like, I know you're just betting because I slowed down, and I think I might still be good here, so that's where you get the value from.
Right now, in that spot, it was fine because she's actually correct. She wouldn't have gotten called because she just had ace high in that spot.
I hate college 209 with the bid subscribe there on Twitch. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Bye, see you, Christopher. Thanks for stopping by. Check us out anytime. Friday's our big game. And I will be back in the booth. Good night,
Pyro Shen. Awesome, always a pleasure. Thanks, man. There you go. Stealth Katsu following on Twitch. Thank you very much.
Thank
She's
you,
gonna need
Stealth.
to get you like some extra lip gloss and stuff. She's gonna be out of it here in a minute.
I know. I actually probably do need to freshen up my lipstick. If we're going to be getting all these follows, I need to have my lips on point. I have my kissing lips. Kings for Lady No Muck, running hot.
Now,
She doesn't
now
even need
she
the king.
does.
She's been hitting everything.
She does watch a lot of the stream, so she knows that Kings don't have the best history here on Stone's Live. So let's see where it goes from here.
Yeah, it's probably running through her head.
Every time I look at, but it doesn't change that. Like, I can't be results oriented. I can't like fold
absolutely
Kings to
not.
be like,
Yeah.
Kings are never good at stones. Even though every time like somebody has a wicked, like a huge draw, I know they're gonna river me, and I know they're gonna get there. And
Because sometimes kings are good. Now, ace, she gets called by. One thing I do like is Lady No Muck the same sizing. She's been doing all night.
She didn't get out of control.
She has
Very
changed up a
important.
few times. She's done 12, 15, 20, a couple of different times. But I like the sizing of 12, the smaller sizing, versus some of her other race sizes because you don't want to price out some of the players' weaker holdings when you have such a strong mate hand here. So she gets called by the ace-9, no ace anywhere, bets out.
And we see a lot of players get way over aggressive with their raise sizing, and I'm talking first person to raise, not even like a re-raise, not a 3-bet or 4-bet, but just the initial raise get way out of line when they get aces or kings, and they kill all their own action. They're like, well, at least I'd rather win this $4 than get rivered. Well, but the thing is, you'll never get any sort of value out of your cards.
Yeah, you're gonna.
The odds of getting that are 1 in 220.
Lose to be a losing player in poker.
Yeah.
Hey, Stealth. He says he's gonna swing by Stones next time in Sacramento. Hey, if you see me, Stealth, please come by, say hello. I always love to meet somebody that's in chat. Make some recommendations off of our excellent menu here. There's not a bad thing on there, but there's a few things that are my favorite.
Bit of a drive from Seattle, just a bit, but that's what cruise control's for. Or if you have a Tesla, you can just like put it on autopilot. It'll just go. There we go. Stone's Life Poker already Google mapping it for you. It's 11 hours and 30-minute drive. Less than half a day you could be here. Come on. We could be having breakfast tomorrow. What are you waiting for? Ride 81. Thank you very much for the follow.
Thank you, Ride.
All right. Let's check out this board here. Deuce 6-9, Super Rainbow. Amber with a gut shot straight draw. Ironically enough, all of her fives being taken up by Lady No Muck, who fires, and Amber finds a fold. Oh, I hate college 209 says, I actually met JFK Stones one time when I played attorney. He had no idea I hate college. I got news for you. I could have played with you in attorney and I would have no idea who you were.
What's up?
But
I
if
hate
you told
college.
me, it's all... Actually, there's been a couple times where people come up and be like, oh, I'm so-and-so in the chat. And I was like, it's so great to meet you. I mean, we chat literally for hours every show because you're in here all the
we feel
time.
like friends, but we don't see each other. That's why I was so excited to see Lady No Muck, and she has been crushing this game. It's so awesome to see somebody from chat come on down, get in the game, playing live on our stream, and killing it. Because she watches all these games, and she's doing great. Intruder, what's up? Pocket 4 is for Curdy. Let's see what she decides to do with them. I think she's going to make a little raise here. She's under the gun +2.
Glasses are in. All these girls looking good with the glasses on.
Very smart. She raises to 11. She gets called by the ace-9 for Evie, suited. She's on the button. So Curdy's going to be playing these fours out of position. She hates this board.
Oh my God.
Cards to her four. She absolutely hates it. Definitely good spot to not see bet and check.
This is where we're sitting here and we're like, pretend I don't hate this board. Pretend I don't hate this board. I totally hate this board.
Yeah. So it's a rainbow flop. I think for Evie could definitely check back her ace here and see if she could get Evie to bet out turn or get some more value off of that ace. Now I know there were some straight possibilities out there, but you've nailed that board enough, and whenever Curdy checks flop there, definitely a good option to go ahead and check and try to see if you can get some more money in that pot for yourself.
So once again, guys, the Stone Spring Classic is coming up. Lex Valdez, Jason Somerville, Andrew Neiman, Kevin Martin, all going to be in the house. If you were not fortunate enough to go up and hit Run It Up Reno while that was going on, that's okay, because we're pretty much bringing it to you. We're bringing all those guys here. We're going to have an absolute blast. So again, that is going to be April 13th through the 22nd. You don't want to miss it.
One more thing for as why a check I would have liked to check on that last hand as well is because...
You mean when Curdy had fours?
Yeah, Curdy, because she was the pre-flop raiser, she likely, if she had hit any piece of that board, would have continued and c-bet. So it's very unlikely that she would have checked back most of her range that actually hit there. She would have likely c-bet. Some aces would have checked back, but beyond that, mostly would have continued.
So Showtime Poker 19 asks a very good question. Says, hey, how far in advance does someone need to sign up for a game if they're flying in from another country? First off, we just put the info there. Actually, Ghost of M was nice enough to put it there in the Twitch side. We'll get the info if you want to sign up for a seat in the game on the YouTube side. So here's the deal. The earlier the better, absolutely. But at the end of the day, we know that you can't exactly always plan your travel. If you happen to be here especially from out of the country, we will make it our damnedest exception to get you in the game for sure, because we have people all fly out here, fans from Malaysia that we got in the game. So if you're going to be out here any Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, anywhere close to Stones, and you want to get in the game, you contact us, you let us know about it, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we love to have people from the chat in here. Yeah, so Paul was just saying it's so awesome, Lady No Muck killing it. She's always in the chat. So cool. That's exactly what I thought when I saw her on here. Really.
Absolutely, yeah. What's up, Paul? I saw that too. Right on. And this is a prime example of so many times, especially in our higher limit games, right? These really, really loose action games, these 10-25s where people are just spewing thousands of dollars. I always see somebody in the chat, oh, I'd crush this game, I'd murder this game, blah, blah, blah. Then get out here and do it.
Do it.
That's the best part, is we're giving you all of the free behind the scenes info that you want to know about the same people you'll be playing with, and then you can come out here and beat them and take the money. I don't care how cheap is a flight, guys? If you're going to come out here and make 5-10K, what do you care if you spend $800 on some travel? Come on.
There you go. It's just like one buy-in to our 2-5.
Done. Lady No Muck, again, very consistent with her sizing of the raise. She raised 12 with kings earlier. Now she's 12 with jack 9. Love it.
Definitely mixing it up, mixing up her range. Again, very hard to put her on anything. Curdy here with the queen 4 and Amber a7. Amber hit the second pair. Lady No Muck could hit a 10.
Yeah, it's not, especially for being a pre-flop aggressive. This is not a bad flop. If you're not going to flop me jack 9, I'll take that flop all day here.
She checks turn here. So still with 2 overs to this board and a straight draw. We are showing true outs though, so although she actually has 9 outs, we know that 3 of those outs have been folded by other players.
Wow, a third of her outs are killed here.
Yeah,
Wow.
so only 6 actual true outs, giving her 20% equity for this block pair.
And I actually like the bet by Amber. Amber had a really great sense of where she was at in that hand. She called Lady No Muck on the flop, but after Lady No Muck started slowing down, Amber was just on auto bet. She's like, my 7's good all day. And it was great. Great
Nice.
move by
Yeah,
Amber.
Amber's been playing very well. Finding her spots and making her money. When she does have a good spot, she's been playing it very well.
So she's a surgeon in real life, a surgeon at the table. I like it.
Very
Doing a
nice.
little
I love
chip
a very
operating.
intelligent woman. Very classily dressed. All the ladies look lovely tonight.
And I actually love that Red Room over there actually has her buddy behind watching her play. Normally it's the other way around. It's always a guy at the table, right? And his girl behind. I love that he's here sweating. That's
Come
super
support
awesome.
your woman. You know
Super
what?
awesome.
I like it.
Honestly, if my woman was as badass as Red Room is, because I know it's so great. Every time she's posts an update and it's a picture of her at the table and she's like, oh, just final table this big whatever guaranteed. I'm just like, yeah, crush them.
So Lady No Muck, again, it's impossible to put her on a range.
Right?
On a range. Ace King suited here, raises to 12, same sizing. She has 2 overs and can hit a queen for a straight. She's actually still best here, but Jen actually has the nut flush draw.
And she's on the button. Looks like Jen over there in C1 is making a fun sign. I'm gonna guess. I think I know what that sign is, but we'll wait for her to hold it up. I think it's pretty cool. All right, taking a look at these stacks here. The Diva still on the short end, but did find a double up earlier there. Has leaked a little bit in blinds. Lady No Muck still our resident chip leader. We say that because it needles pink-haired, bearded Jake. $930.
Yeah, Tim, Ace King raised to 12. We're playing a 1-3 game here, so that's been the pretty standard sizing. And I like that Lady No Muck is not varying her sizing just based on her cards. That's a tell that a lot of players could pick up on, a sizing tell, and you don't want to be pricing out players with your better hands.
Absolutely, you're right. The fact that she's popped at 12 every time, I mean, it's crazy that it's Jack 9 or Kings and that I don't have a way to know
or
either
6,
way.
7.
Like, that's why it's super, I absolutely. Consistency is rock solid there. So taking a look at the cash win, it looks like so far Sally's up the most here, about 300. We saw her get involved in that big pot earlier with Curdy, I think is where most of that came from. And then Lady No Muck is our next biggest achiever here since the stream started, almost 200 positive.
And that's something that's really good to take notice of here. I mean, I know we're in another hand, but Sally playing more conservative. This is just showing a couple of different styles of play. Sally playing much more conservative, just finding that 1 or 2 little spots and doubling up her stack where she gets it in good. Whereas we see Lady No Muck mixing it up, playing a lot of hands, so she's sometimes losing some money and giving money back there, but then she's also hit a lot of flops and been able to make herself some money. So Sally, with her more conservative approach, actually has the most winnings here by just picking those couple little spots because you don't see her giving a lot back.
Yeah, and I feel like Lady No Muck is almost, because she's involved in more hands, having to work a lot harder to kind of achieve the same gains as Sally. However, we all know Sally was in a sweet kind of setup hand with, I mean, and that's really what you're looking for, right? I mean, when you watch that movie, like Rounders, right? Everybody quotes it all the time. You're looking for your one big bet, your one big hand, an hour, or whatever it is. I mean, that's it. I mean, you're looking to basically be on the good end of that kind of like second nut versus third nut type scenario where you can get paid.
Right. But, that's not always going to come to you. And sometimes, you have to make your own luck. You can't always just wait. Patience is super key. You got to be patient enough, long enough to get lucky, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes, again, in certain fields, you need to be able to take advantage of the table if you are card dead for a really long time. However, you still want to be careful and not be constantly giving money back on every single hand.
And there we go. All sorts of 8s out there for Amber. Evie the Queen betting with the ace. Amber, look at that. Evie the Queen bets out a super small little bet there. Amber comes in, says, I got a lot of eights, so I want to get paid.
So I Hate College says, I just texted the number for the onesie game. I am also now searching on Amazon for onesie outfits.
Yes.
Something I never thought I would do today.
Absolutely.
I love that.
That's where I got my shark onesie. It was still available on Amazon Prime, and it was great. Got it in 2 days. It was everything I thought it could be.
You wake up, you drink your tea, never expecting to be searching for onesies by the
True.
end of it.
That's why life is a beautiful thing, man.
It is. You never know where it's going to lead.
Yeah, and it's Vanessa absolutely was not wrong. She said once I got my first onesie, she's like, oh, just so you know, you're gonna spend like half of your income on onesies. And since then, I've already bought 2 other onesies, and this was within the last month. So I go from owning none to owning 3, so they're multiplying heavily.
king.
Yeah,
Yes.
multiplying very heavily.
I cannot wait to find out what onesie you've decided on. I Hate College.
The onesie game is gonna be a blast. Me and Sean McCormick had come up with that when we did a onesie pub crawl in Santa Monica, and it was way too much fun because everybody who wants to hang out in onesies is generally not a shitty human. They're pretty cool people. So yeah, onesies are awesome. Onesie parties are fun.
Onesies are the best.
Don't forget we love you.
By the way, that is what I thought. That is saying hi to Xander. Shout out to Xander. That is Jen's little one. I have had the pleasure of meeting that little man. He's a very cool dude.
Shout out to Xander.
Yeah.
What's up?
Xander, you're the man.
We have a hand here. Curdy with the best of it. She turns the king. Red Rum had the queen on the flop, and now Sally can hit a 10 for her straight, as well as Amber can hit the jack to make her straight. So a little piece of everything, something for everybody, except for Lady No Muck, who doesn't have much anything. And we should see as she folds out here.
So funny how close so many people were to a hand here, but then everybody just runs for the hills.
Yeah.
So
And
now,
nobody really had quite enough.
yeah. I mean, with the $50 there, the raise to 50. I mean, you're basically half pot to win on a gut shot. Sally doesn't want any piece of that. She's gone. Once again, guys, the Win the Button tournament coming up shortly here in a couple weeks on April 13th. Win the pot, win the button. One of my favorite stories is we actually combined that with a bounty tournament recently. Bompotosaurus! Yes!
Can I get a choo-choo?
Yeah, a bompot. Sure, that's how we're gonna spell it. It's a bombopotosaurus.
Bombopotosaurus.
Yeah, it's a Cuban dinosaur bomb thing. We're just go with it. It's good. We love it. Angry Pollock in the house. Veronica, what's going on?
What's up,
Tuning in.
lady friend?
We love you. It's ladies' night, and it wouldn't be complete without you. Now that you're here, I feel good about it.
Veronica, Lady No Muck is in the game and she is crushing. Killing it.
Bompotosaurus, you're just in time to get tilted by putting that on the screen. Yes. Yes, encourage me all day, Angry Pollock. You are welcome. Once again, for those of you just tuning in, a bomb pot is where every player here throws in a pre-designated amount. In this case, I believe it was $10, and we just start out playing post-flop.
And also, do you see my prom date? Do you see how we're dressed to match here?
Yeah, you can't see the corsage. It's actually, I ordered it on Amazon. It's on the way, I swear, but yeah.
You didn't get me flowers.
You just wait. Oh my god, and let the Polish sausage jokes begin. All right, Lady No Muck here does have top pair with a 10. She fires 25. Curdy comes along with next pair at 7s, and 8s for Evie comes along as well. Jack on the turn. This actually gives, wow, this gives Lady No Muck and Evie both straight draws now with their 8s.
Lady No Muck's still best here with her 10. That's been something I feel like I've been saying a lot of. Lady No Muck is best here.
Yeah, that's probably a good sign.
So Lady No Muck bets out 45. Curdy's going to make the call here. She's got the 7, the overcard to the board.
And if you're Evie here, I mean, you got to think that you're probably crushed right now, right? You need to hit an 8 or a 9. If you hit an 8, you almost hate life because then you still fear a 9 for making a straight.
Right. So but there was so much in the pot that she felt like for 45 she could make the call. Now Curdy hit one of her outs here. She actually makes 2 pair on the river here to give her the best of it. Way to float that turn there, just knowing it was coming with 3rd pair.
She reads minds and boards. She reads boards. It was happening.
Lady No Muck's continuing the aggression, not slowing down, although the king really was a card for her to slow down because it completes the flush as well as some straight possibilities. She decided to name her own price here. She bet out 80 and she gets a quick call from Curdy.
But you know, and Curdy's just been, she's been getting kind of beat up on in some of these pots, so she's making this call, and even as she's calling this, she's like, it's probably no good. You probably have the flush, and so she's just super happy to like actually be good here and drag the pot. She's like, I'm fine. We're good here.
Yeah, I think that Curdy really couldn't put Lady No Muck on a flush draw there just because of the way she was betting out the whole time. I mean, now Lady No Muck hasn't had a lot of slowdown regardless, but on a draw she likely maybe would have played it a little bit differently, trying to see if she could have hit before just continue to fire. So Curdy couldn't quite put her on a flush. Made the call pretty quick there. Nice hand, Curdy. Way to float that turn, pick up your 2 pair and stack those chips.
Somebody in there talking about talking to Jenna Liz about painting. For those of you who didn't know, actually, Jenna Liz, I don't know if I'm really allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Amazing Bob Ross style painter, instructor extraordinaire. I had never painted before, and I randomly ended up at a little game night with her, and then we ended up, hey, how about drinking some wine and painting? And I'm like, sure, I can make a crappy stick figure. And I ended up painting something really, really, really amazing. So much so that I showed my parents, and I was like, check out, I harnessed my inner Bob Ross. I'm like, that's really cool. Where'd you buy it? And I'm like, I made it. And they're like, nah, we saw your finger paintings, man. You didn't paint that, bruh. You know. Yeah, so amazing.
Awesome.
So phenomenal.
Awesome.
Lots of happy trees, all sorts of Bob Ross action. Highly encourage, if you guys haven't done one, honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a great date night idea, too, if you ever want to go with somebody.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
wine and art is all sorts of fun.
Showtime Poker, good night. He says, good night, everyone. Thanks at Stone's Live Poker for great entertainment as always. We appreciate that. Thank you.
These onesies are so expensive. The good ones are, but they're worth it. Trust me. You're gonna wear your onesie for one occasion, one time, and then you're gonna find excuses to wear it. Prime example, when I picked up Vanessa, she was in her polar bear onesie, right? We're driving around in the car with the top off, just like everybody's looking at us in this like obnoxiously bright yellow car, you know, and we're just in onesies, and like she's like, oh crap, I forgot, I need to pick up some stuff at the drugstore. So we go to the drugstore, and she's just like walking around like you forget you're in a onesie, and people are like, oh, that's just a polar bear buying makeup. You don't see that every day? It's good times.
So when it gets folded around to her, let's see, actually, yeah, Yoteach leads out with 5-6 on the button here, pre-flop. She hits her 5. That is the best hand right now.
Quick call by Evie though here, yeah.
Called in 2 spots here. So yeah, Amber's gonna float here. She's got 2 overcards to this board. She felt like because Yoteach bet out she's not really putting her on 5-6 type of range.
No way, and they all check the turn to her, so now to the river here. Battle of the best.
Goes check all around, and Yoteach is going to take a pot down with 5-6. Like it.
And now everybody's just like, oh wait, you raised pre, right? That's when you confirm you raise. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, I raised with 5-6. Just let it happen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you know that's fine because she hasn't been getting out of line all the time. It's crazy, and she's adding those hands in, and it was folded around to her, and it's right for her to raise on the button because
Absolutely.
Again, you're supposed to be more aggressive from later position, and you can't just always wait for like we were talking about the big hands to come to you. And it was a great spot for her because of that range. She got some more action because people thought that she wasn't on the range of hands that she actually was.
And absolutely, and we'll call that organized madness. And that's the funny thing is that if you're not an observant player and you don't understand why she did what she did, and she had position, she was on the button, and the way she played it, if you're just a random player, you're seeing her flipping over hands like 5-6, you're just like, how do you play that garbage? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, this is why poker's so beautiful, because you're totally unobservant to everything that just went down there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. And now Bob Kraft, he says, if we give her a long enough straw, can Kasey drink in the booth? I'm more of like an ask for forgiveness than permission type of girl. So
it would also have to be a really long straw, like probably like 12 feet to get over the booth, and then maybe do a drink on the other side.
yeah, I don't know.
It probably wouldn't be very conspicuous either. I think they would just know
how
it.
I quite get the.
I'll tell you what, she can drink in the booth if you guys get her one of those beer helmets where you just put cans in it and it's got the straws coming down.
Wear that.
And it's just gonna say like,
No, they have a wine one. Like I don't really drink much beer.
how big
but,
are the whole wine bottles hanging down?
Like wine bottles.
Oh
or,
my God.
Like if we could have like a champagne mimosa one, like orange juice on this side, champagne on this side,
And
it
it
somehow
mixes at the same time?
At the same time.
Wow, that seems like bubbles coming out your nose, but I'm super down to watch the attempt. I'm super down. The first time you try that, it's definitely coming right out your nose, and you're just like, yeah. Xander, the only cool guy at the not at the table, actually getting notes, saying what up.
I got almost $100 right
Yeah, I gotta talk. So Lady No Muck, we're definitely gonna have drinks with her after the stream. I have no idea where she came from. I don't know if she's like how local she is. Did she drive from a couple hours away? Did she?
I think it's a little bit of a drive for
Yeah.
her. Yeah, because she otherwise I think she'd be playing here.
She'd be here all the time, right? And that's what I mean. I was just like, I mean, because she's talked about it in the chat for a while. Like, I'm gonna be playing there soon. So it's got to be a little bit of a drive, yeah.
Yeah, I know she's told me before where she said in the chat before where she was at, but I can't remember right now.
Yeah, whatever. It's all yours.
Just a reminder, guys, anyone who's new to the chat, go ahead and hit like and or subscribe on Twitch or YouTube. You'll always get notified whenever we go live. We have games streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In April, we're going to be streaming almost the whole month. We've got a bunch of huge players coming into the game. Andrew Nemi, Lex Veldicus, help me out here.
Jason Somerville, Kevin
and
Martin.
Kevin Martin are all going to be here, guest commentating as well as playing. Lots of huge action, big tournaments. We'll be streaming all of it. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be some great poker in April. The only way you can be assured you're not going to miss it is to hit that subscribe button.
True. Oh, wait, there. Oh, she was just holding it up. We didn't have the camera right on it. But yes, you were there. You were there. We saw the sign being held for you, Xander. Yeah, you know what's cool about these guys is they are just genuinely good people who love to be able to make a living doing what they love to do. And
I see, there it is. Hi, Xander. It says, I love you, baby. XOXO. Xander, do you see your mommy is always thinking about you, and she has you on her mind. Giving you the shout out. What's up, Xander? So sweet.
That is so cute. I wish that's how it worked. So my husband is right now.
So yeah, if you guys are fancying these guys, come on in. Honestly, they will take a picture with you. They'll have a beer with you. These are just super, super good peeps. So come on in and say hi. I think Aces again going around the table. Sally this time. I wonder if somebody else is going to wake up with like Ace random, like we've seen every other time.
Let's see how she 3-bets it to 35 here. Does anybody have Lady No Muck, the only one here who could possibly make the call from the button? She does.
Cody Moose 01 in the house. What's going on? Hey everybody, I was at work. Did I miss anything good?
J-Dub, that kiss was for you.
Oh,
Thank you for the subscribe on
J-Dub.
YouTube.
All right, 8-4 deuce, a super randomly dry, uncoordinated board for everybody. It's a great flop if you're Sally, although you actually kind of get scared if you're Sally. You start raising and somebody heavily 3-bets you, then you're like, am I up against a set here? In this case, Lady No Muck has really nothing going on. It's going to be a typical bet fold scenario. Yeah, Reno, run it up, come in as stones. You got that right, Loan for Cards. Loan for Cards, I believe you were the one who actually said you were up there and running up Reno and said it was a lot of fun. Really well-ran tournament. Not surprised there for sure. Cody Moose, I stole her away from the game because this is our in-booth prom night tonight. Okay, so this is we already took the super cheesy pictures where it's like hands on the hips and pose super awkwardly for like 10 minutes where they take 100 pictures.
But I gotta tell you, he's not getting any kiss from me at the end of the night because I got no corsage, no flowers, so.
God, I'm the worst.
Still open,
I'm the
still
worst.
available. Somebody can steal a dance from me quite easily.
I told you I was going to take you to the
Just
after
bring
party
me
at
flowers
Denny's.
and you can steal my dance.
Oh,
My
man.
dance card is not full.
And I can already see the line of people with roses right outside the door here. There's already like 10 people waiting. It's worse than like an iPhone launch.
Cody Moose wants to know why I'm not in the game. Well, I couldn't miss being in the booth. We just were talking about this. But yeah, could have been in the game. I was in the last Lady Night game, but I wanted to commentate on this one. It's so much fun to watch Lady Crushers, see how they're playing.
Curdy's stack size really healthy here. Did she bink a super big pot that I missed there for a minute?
You know, she did win a couple of pots.
I know she added on. She rebought for 800.
But then no, we saw her win with the queen where it was
and then the king 7 too, right?
And then she got the king 7 where she hit the 2 pair as well. So she had a couple of good pots there that she floated that turn to make her 2 pair on the river.
You know, I do love, I mean, obviously this is a ladies game, so we set it up this way, but I've noticed, I mean, heck, yourself included, just an absolute influx of women poker players over the past couple of years coming into the game, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I see, so you used to look out to a tournament, and you used to be able to hand pick, like, okay, there's like the 6 girls who are in it. Right. And now I'm just like, there's one every other table at least.
I really feel women have a strong advantage. I mean, everyone can have an advantage. Poker is like anything; it's how hard you're willing to work for it. And but women, I think, just starting out, really can have some edges and advantages over male players for several different reasons. One, now some people might start calling me sexist if I get too much into this, but women generally, in some cases, are naturally better at reading body language signals. I think that's a talent that a lot of women have that some men do have, but not all men have. We pick up on little cues and facial expressions very well. And so that part of the game we can do really well at. But also, you know that men get distracted by us. What can we say? What can I say? And they sometimes soft play women. They will tell you what they have. They will lay down their hands because they want to be nice. Or some men don't want you at the table, and they may try to push you around, and
which is even better. Which is probably a dream scenario
also,
for you, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to take advantage of it and find your edge.
Speaking of taking advantage, look at this board. Something for everybody, and this super small bet here by A7 gets called around. Now this turn opens up a whole lot of world. Curdy here, obviously with the straight. Sally's still with 2 pair. Evie Queen, this a turn actually gives her the nut flush draw along with her pair of aces.
And yeah, Curdy has the straight here. You may have already said that. Curdy's going to raise to 45. Sally's going to make the call with her 2 pair. She can't feel like super great about it because then he jack beats her and she does. She makes the fold there with her 2 pair. It's a pretty tight fold, but it is a correct one. Now the flush comes on the river here. Curdy hates to see the diamond, but she still feels like she could likely be best here with her flush.
Especially since it was runner diamond.
So she's yeah, exactly. It doesn't play out like likely to have the flush there. She bets out 150. Quick call. Oh, actually an all-in. It's only 77 more, so she can't really fold. And for 77 more with that much in the pot, she has to make the call. She's gonna get the bad news. Really frustrating when you feel like you've just worked so hard to earn and make all those chips, and then you see them just quickly floating back over to the other side of the table. Nothing much Curdy could do there except possibly check river when the diamond comes, but again, the way the hand played out, less likely that somebody did hit the flush, so betting for value was not a bad play there at all.
Yeah,
Donio's talking about a smaller sizing. I could see an argument for a smaller. The sizing was pretty big. You're likely only getting called by either a chopped pot or a flush or maybe like a set or something like that.
She was first to act on the river, right? Curdy was there with the jack. Mm-hmm. I still bet I can go for thin value all day there. I'm not going to put you on a runner flush. I'm just not. I guess if you like small men raise me or something, I cry and think about it, but maybe inevitably pay you off because you might be trying to raise me for thin value if you had the same straight. I don't think I'm ever really getting away from it there, but I'm definitely going to fire off for thin value thinking that my jack is good.
And I also, he's saying that he thought the sizing was too big. but it was actually only about a half pot sized bet. So once they both put their 150 in, then I think the pot was 650 at that point. So if we take out that 300, there's only about 350 in the pot. So 150 is a little bit less, if I'm remembering correctly, and we can always go back and do this. It's a little less than a half-size bet, so not too bad of a sizing actually.
Donna's saying she bet like 116 to 200. I don't know if I didn't see what the bet was. I don't know if that's right. 116 to 200 seems like damn near pot size.
I thought it was 150 into about 300 to 350, but we can get confirmation on this. Then I would love to, because.
Yeah, and just a heads up, guys, just so you know, the way that our pot tracker works, if it already says bet 150 under a player, then the pot size in the middle has been updated to include that bet. So to see what the pot was before they bet that, you have to back that bet back out of it. I don't know if that had any effect.
Yeah, I just saw that the pot was at 650 when both players had called the 150. So if I just back out that 300, then it would look to me that the pot was about 350, which would make it a little less than a half pot size bet.
KLG 420, what is going on? For a second I read taxes, because those are all that's on my mind. For those of you who haven't done your taxes yet, guys, do your taxes. Tax day somewhere in April. It's scary. It's coming up, and I need to do mine. Otherwise, the IRS is the one person you don't want to piss off. That, and I guess your spouse, but don't piss off either of them. It won't end well for you.
King Jack versus Ace Jack here. Lady No Muck, under the gun +1. Early position raises to 12. Jen is going to make the call from the hijack. That is just 2 spots away from the button. Just calling. We're also getting a call by an Ace Rag from Red Rum in the cutoff. And Queen 4 decides to come along because she was already in for 6. It was only 6 more for her to call.
Hey, College Air 9 says even drug dealers reporting coming to the IRS. Terrifying. I know, it's true. So yeah, look at this here. Super crazy all-spaded board. Red Rum with the only spade, let alone the Nut Royal draw spade.
Okay.
There it is.
So Dondo says that she bet 140 into 169. If that was the case,
that's a pretty hefty bet.
Then that was a pretty big bet. She definitely should have chosen a little smaller sizing, because she's likely only getting called or re-raised by a better hand. So a little bit too big.
Random non-spade brick on the river. Yeah, I like, and that's actually what I like. So obviously we simulcast on YouTube Live and Twitch. I do like that. I think if we're live, I think you can scroll back live on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do it on Twitch. Maybe you can now, because I know that Dondo's obviously with us on Twitch as well. Mr. Smiley in the house. Mr. Smiley, a staple on the stream now, and just like pops in whenever. Like, okay, I'm here. I know you guys are waiting for me. I'm here. Don't worry, we're good.
Hello, Mr. Smiley. But I think with King Diamonds in her hand, sometimes she gets a chop to fold, so maybe it's like not that bad of a sizing. Yeah, for another Jack to possibly fold. I mean, I don't know. I think a Jack might call. It could be argued either way, but yeah, I think a smaller sizing is going to get her weaker hands to call for value, and then if she gets a huge re-raise, then she can evaluate and possibly find a fold there with the diamonds out there.
Mr. Smiley says, how's the action been? You know, it's been pretty straightforward. A couple pots that definitely kind of got a little setup action going on. A couple pots got a little bloated, but for the most part, it's been pretty standard.
You know, we've seen a few, 4 or 5 of the players playing very tight and conservative, as you generally expect a lot of lady players to play, but playing their game, finding their spots and doing really well. And then we've been seeing some of our other players playing a lot of hands and floating a lot of flops and turns and playing really well. I've really liked Amber's play tonight. Curdy's been mixing it up. Red Rum, like Sal. I mean, we've seen them all doing really great. I'd love to watch this game, actually. It's really nice.
So this was an interesting flop here, actually. Both pocket pairs missed, and Red Rum open-ended with a couple of overs. They all check through on the flop here. Amber now on the turn fires 25 and gets it through.
Yep.
I think Red Rum found maybe a call on the turn and brick the river, so quick fold there.
Yeah, we've seen some players be pretty card dead too as well, but yeah, everybody getting in there and mixing it up a little here and there. Lady No Muck.
KLG 420 says there's no greater game than 1-2 no limit hold'em. Care to elaborate why?
So
Yeah, I could argue against that, but you know, everybody find your spot. You like what you like.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's no
Maybe it's
greater
because-
game than the super drunk 1-2 no limit hold'em game with no cap at like at somebody's like rich guy's mansion. That's the game we're talking about, right? Like the 50-cent dollar game at your buddy's house where you still magically cash out 500, right? That's the game I'm talking about. Give me that game all day.
You know, Mr. Smiley, we just saw an all-in. He's wondering how the action has been. It's a 1-3 game. It's a ladies' game. We've seen several players really mixing it up. Curdy and Lady No Muck getting really involved. We've seen Amber, Sally, Red Rum, and
Yo teach.
all mixing it up as well. Some of the other players have been pretty card dead, but everyone playing pretty solid.
Meanwhile, I'm just thinking about what drink I'm going to cash in from our previous tournament after the stream.
True that. What drink are you going to cash in?
I don't know. What's that one, the market price? Louis something? No, I'm just
Are you going to do the Hennessy XO?
Oh,
Those
dear
shots are
God.
really
Whatever it
expensive.
is. Actually, a bartender buddy of mine said if you're at somewhere where they don't know what they have and they don't have much left of that Louis whatever, if you say, hey, I'll order the last shot in there, but I want to take the bottle's like pure crystal, and you can sell the bottle for like 100 or 200 by itself. So he's like, so if you just want a free shot and a cool crystal bottle you can resell to somebody, I'm like,
That's
good to know.
cool.
Life pro tip, guys. Unfortunately, here at Stones, I think they know about the bottle, so good luck with that.
Mr. Smiley says, I personally think women are better poker players, especially if she's a mom. They pick up on everything. This is what,
I love it. I love it. They know when the kids try to be like, I didn't color on the walls. I don't even know. I didn't
we
do
also pick up everything.
that. Okay, I see it. I get it.
But, you know, we were just talking about this, Mr. Smiley, and I was saying the same thing. I was saying it's very hard to get very much bias. We can really pay a lot to cues, facial expressions. You know, we're always, watching, and we were just having the same conversation. And there's other edges that you can find as well.
It's like when you ask your kid if they did something wrong, you can ask a guy at the table, did you remember that flush? No. No, I didn't. Okay, maybe. All right, to the flop here. Queen 10-3, couple of spades. Bottom two pair for a Lady No Muck. 10-3, small blind special here.
Amber's got top pair.
Yeah, possible.
And a backdoor flush possibility. And Curdy a little something too. She's got bottom pair with a backdoor flush, nut flush possibility.
And spade or diamond on the turn. Of course it's neither.
Ooh, but it does make a
wow.
vote for Lady No Muck if she needed to run any better.
Lady No Muck is like, please somebody, please have something.
Amber has a queen, so she's gonna make the call. So we've got a pot right now of 99. Ace comes. This could keep Lady No Muck from getting paid off on the river here because Amber could fold out now with the ace coming, with an ace and a 10 out there. But Amber doesn't like to just fold too easily. So I was gonna say Amber likes to look it up and see it, especially with the way Lady No Muck's been playing.
And you know what? If you look at Lady No Muck's sizing there, I actually kind of like it because she bet 15 on the flop, 15 on the turn, and then 15, 15, and then 40 on the river. And the 40 was almost like such a drastic change from the 15. I think if anything, it was kind of like looked borderline bluffy. And so she's like, please call this, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, there was, based on the pot size though, it wasn't too big of a bet, but it was definitely a big change from the size that she had chosen before. And and Amber gets suspicious, and she has seen how aggressive Lady No Muck has been. Skeeter Juice 35 giving us a follow on Twitch. We appreciate that. Thank you for the follow.
Wapbright corrected me saying apparently that Louis the 13th bottle goes for like 500 to 600. Just kidding. So yeah, that is definitely the hustle.
Hey.
Get that crystal. Apparently my buddies who sold it for 100 or 2 were getting hustled because they were reselling it for 5 to 6. Yeah, what do? I collect crystal and rare minerals. They're all in the forms of Louis bottles. Just all my old alcohol. I'm
So
just
really, like
raging.
the bar will just give you those bottles?
If they don't really know what they're doing, because normally a bar wouldn't care, because a bar who doesn't know would take that bottle after it's empty and just throw it away, right? They don't know. But for the most part, if you have a bar that doesn't know, they'll be like, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll buy the last shot if you give me the bottle. Like, I just want it to put on my wall or my whatever, and they'll be like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
But then I looked at the lineup and I was like, God,
I am actually just reminding me, I'm glad Paul's dealing. Paul is our resident artist extraordinaire. I have to order another hat from him, a fresh train hat. That's for my little avatar in the beginning, that train hat I'm wearing, Paul made. And now I've worn that hat so much over the past 2 years that it's just like, I've tried to wash it and it just, at this point, it's just like, it's on its way out. It's just too, it's too, I think the colors are starting to run now and I'm like, okay, it's just time for a new hat.
So Sally flops open-ended with a backdoor. Oh, wait, never mind. Our graphics needed. No, yeah, she flops open-ended with a backdoor flush possibility. Lady No Muck hits her 9 here. She's been running hot. She's gonna go ahead and lead out for 20 here. Getting the call from Sally.
Oh, look at that. Now this is kind of an interesting card. Obviously this gives Lady No Muck 2 pair here with 9s and jacks, but this does make Sally now have a pair along with her open-ended draw. So in Sally's mind, this is not a bad card for her at all.
Six on the river, binks off, so Sally does not complete. She does not hit
For straight, yeah. But she did catch the jack, so for somehow she didn't give Lady No Muck credit for at least a queen on the flop. You know, quick fold by Sally. Sally was not having it. Sally's like, don't try to trick me by giving me a jack. I didn't hit my straight. I don't want anything to do with this pot. Lady No Muck, that run good continues.
It really does.
Once again, you guys are watching Stones Live. Looking around the table. Hey, Fever5, thanks for the follow. Those red chips. Yeah, those red chips are $5 chips. The blue chips are $1 chips. I think that's all we have in play here at this table.
Danny, Kaylee Babe, we appreciate your following us on Twitch.
Danica Lee, what up?
Danica Lee. I'm terrible at pronouncing these names.
Well, it's rough because, well, you can't, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where the letter breaks are, you know, yeah. Let's see, as a female, I typically like playing more male games. They are easier to read. And this is actually kind of what you talked about earlier.
Yeah, so someone was asking why I wasn't in the ladies' game. I generally don't find them to be very profitable for me. I prefer to play, I love playing with ladies. It's fun to talk, to make friends. It's always fun, just like entertainment value-wise. But when I'm generally playing to earn and make money, women are generally pretty tighter players. I like to, which you can take advantage of that and adjust your style and make money. However, I like to make more money against a male lineup, especially a whaley one. I like to whale hunt, as JFK Stone said, a whale hunter.
I like it. Well, look at this here. Speaking of whale hunting, oh wow, Ace King versus Lady No Muck's King 9. Ace King way with the best of it here. Lady No Muck playing catch-up mode, but pretty much toast here on the turn. But I know what you mean. I have games. I have 2 different modes, and I like to not make it completely obvious which mode I'm in when I come in here. But I will come in here to literally just splash around in the cash game with just playing gamble, laughing, drinking, having a good old time, right? And then I will come in here to crush souls and make my mortgage. And there's a very distinct difference in my play, but I try not to make it super obvious to the players which one I'm doing. Otherwise they know what to exploit. But I know what you mean. It's like this game might be fun, but this isn't where I'm gonna go if I really want to be profitable and make the big money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
you're gonna have to be running really well, and so really taking advantage of weakness. And we know this lady's lineup isn't weak. I just feel like it's much easier to be profitable against the male lineup, however sexist that may sound. And Lunar says he agrees with Poker Mama. Talking about my poker name in the third person, I don't know if I should be doing that. I think that's the first.
Poker Mama in the fourth person, the fifth person. Let's just keep how far can we get? So now Curdy here, whenever she's been raising, she's pretty much had the best of it here. The fact that Lady No Muck doesn't even have an ace, I think this is a pretty easy to find a fold here. I think at this point, Lady No Muck, she doesn't want to make any hasty decisions. She just wants to think about it logically. I think she's still going to find a fold. I think she just wants to think about where Curdy could be in the hand. Originally, if you're looking pre-flop, Curdy did 3-bet Lady No Muck pre. They both checked the flop, and now that Curdy's deciding to raise the turn, it's a little fishy to me. If you 3-bet pre and you both check flop, I feel like you either both completely missed it or you have a monster. And I think Lady No Muck, she's stacking out chips. She might be putting Curdy on just making a move here, which could end badly.
I think Lady No Muck is, to some degree, earning her name here. It is possible to get value from Lady No Muck because she does not like to fold when she hits, one of these second pair type hands. And I think Curdy's taking advantage of that here.
Well, let's hear.
Yeah, let's listen in. See if Lady No Muck can find a fold.
Oh, it got real quiet. I think she definitely said something to her. Let's hear.
Yeah, she's thinking about it. I'd love to see Lady No Muck make a fold here. Great fold.
Yeah.
Lady No Muck, much respect.
You saw she was.
Eat my words.
Yeah, you saw she was working it through in her head, and she's like,
And she
I
did.
can't be good here. I can't be good. If you
started
three bet me pre, and we both check the flop, and then all of a sudden you're check raising me or raising me there on the turn, I can't be good here, can I?
I really like Lady No Muck's fold there. Much respect to you. You've been playing really well all night. Fantastic. And, we saw her cutting out chips there. I think it almost was to get a read on Curdy as she was cutting out her chips. How does Curdy look? Does she look afraid? Does she look scared now that I'm cutting out my chips like I'm about to call? So you saw her start to cut out her chips, then look over to Curdy to see Curdy's reaction. She felt like Curdy still felt really comfortable, and she put it together. Curdy may have said something to her. She may have picked up a live read right there on the spot, and she made a correct fold. Love to see it.
So Matt Kaplan brings up that Curdy looked too relaxed and confident. I want to touch base on that after this hand, because I want to ask you guys a question in the chat about when you're in a big pot. Oh, there we go. There it is, guys. There, the beer hat is real. The the wine hat is real.
Oh my gosh.
The full glass. Hey, good job on the Photoshop.
Yes, I was so thirsty.
Guys, this is why we have good booth people right here.
Production
This is why we have it,
ever.
because this just happens.
I've been waiting. I was so thirsty. You want to collect that drink now? Stick your head right here.
Got it.
You want to collect that
Yeah,
drink?
hold on.
I owe you.
Love it.
That is awesome.
Oh my
I can just
God.
wear this hat for the rest of the stream. I do not mind.
I was digitally drinking. Nope, don't tell anybody. All right, so check out this board here. King 5-8-6, bunch of hearts. Bet it to win it. King the diva bets it, and everybody says I believe her. Been playing pretty snug. Okay, so let's talk about this.
You got your own now.
Oh God. So. Okay, no, so let's talk about looked too relaxed and confident. Let me ask you this, guys. You see people at the table, you see people eating and playing and drinking and stuff. When somebody makes a big bet or a big move or raises all in or something like that, and then they sit back and they just continue eating their salad or drinking their drink or whatever, do you construe that one way or another? Like, let's say somebody just raises you all in for $1,000 or whatever, and then they go back to just nonchalantly eating their salad. Do you think they're doing that to act like they're not scared when they are, or do you think they're just like, how do you interpret that?
So this is where, for me, it depends on if it's really early in a session, I won't classify it either way. If I just haven't had enough history with that person. As I've played with someone long enough, I'm going to be starting to put them at a level of play based on how they've been playing and what I've been seeing and how aggressive they are, and whether or not they're capable of or are going to be doing these reverse type tell situations. And so if it looks like this is a super recreational player, then I'm going to just trust my first instinct on the read. If I know this is a more experienced player who knows about that, is one of the most basic tells, then you can't trust it, and you need to then rely on the math and how the story played out and putting them on a range. Do you agree with that?
I love it, yeah, and I like love for cards. I just straight up says, I usually call when they eat in front of me. I love the boldness of that statement. Look, if you're just going to eat in front of me, I'm going to call. I'm telling you right now. Like, straight up.
I'm going to remember that.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, definitely when Loan for Cards comes in here and introduces themselves, and you're at the table, straight up, if you want to call, just be like, hold on, man, I'm hungry. Boom. Every time.
I'm as soon as this stream is over, I am ordering my favorite food here from Stone's.
Which is?
The balsamic chicken salad.
Yes,
Walnut
the grilled chicken.
Balsamic chicken salad.
All the way.
I go to bed dreaming of it, and I eat it every time I'm in here, and somehow I never get tired of it.
It's true.
They
It's
must
really good.
put something in there. It's like a crack salad.
It's funny because they offer you the normal and the large size, but the normal is still huge.
The normal is still huge.
I don't think I've ever seen a large size. I was like, does it come in just like a 5-gallon bucket?
No,
Do they just fill it up?
I have accidentally ordered a large before, and JFK and I split a large last time I was here. But yeah, the large is huge. It's like family size. It's enough to feed a family of 4. But
Oh, Runner Diamonds does get there after all. Look at that. Amber here with the check mark.
Get it, girl. Get it, girl.
It's a good song.
And Lady No Muck hit 2 pair on the end there, and so she finds a call because it just wasn't too big. It's only 25. She finds a call.
Paul Hilliard says, 2005 to 2012, the casual drinking and eating meant bluff. 2012 to present, just means comfortable. Not just comfortable.
Cody Moose says he agrees that it really depends on the history with the player. This wine is starting to get to my head.
It's true. So much. You gotta hydrate in between drinks there.
The wine is actually getting to my head.
Solid.
Yeah, saw what I did there.
I'm sure people are looking on the screens around the room like, they look at the screen, then they look at you, they're like, wait, wine helmet in the what?
Oh my gosh, I'm getting so saucy. You may get that kiss after all, my prom date.
Boom.
It's all the wine.
I'm reliving my prom all over again, and it's great. So much better this time.
Earlier, we were joking about us being, well, not joking, we're prom dates tonight. Look at we're dressed so spiffy. But he forgot my corsage, no flowers for a lady. So I said, anybody could steal me. My gift card is open.
It was back ordered.
He ordered it on Amazon. Obviously, you're not a Prime member, or you would have had that fast shipping. But regardless, we just depends on how hungry they are. True that.
So this is a bomb pot, guys. So everybody threw in $10, and then we just see a flop. So everybody's in that rangeless beast category here. Looks like Yo Teach bets $20. We can see she does connect with a pair of 5s here. Currently the best of it. Next best being Sally's 4, and even she's finding a fold. Like we said, generally in these bomb pots, people play pretty snug because everybody can have everything. But Lady No Muck's gonna call along float here with 2 overs. Nothing's going on the turn, 8 peels. This actually is not a bad card for Yo Teach. Opens up a straight draw and flush draw potential now. Both players checked. Kind of surprising there. If I'm Yo Teach, I would have liked to see another bet, but again, bomb pots play weird.
Yes. I can't even commentate. You have to take over. I'm too wasted.
So she's wine wasted.
So wine wasted. Oh, they cut me off.
Oh my god,
They
wow.
cut me off. They said I had too much.
I don't think I've ever been cut off of a digital drink before. That's pretty impressive. Welcome to the Oasis. For those of you who haven't seen Ready Player One yet, do yourself a favor. It was definitely enjoyable. Go check it out. The Diva has just been floating this whole game. I gotta give it up to the Diva. I know she's obviously been on the super short stack the whole game, but she's still hanging out, still playing, still working that stack up. Alvarock, what's going on? Thanks for the follow on Twitch. Yeah.
Hillard says, do it like Jamie Foxx and blame it on the alcohol. Oh, we got a couple of follows?
Yeah, oh, Cheeto Boy 420.
Who was the one before that?
That was something Rock, I believe, right there.
What's up, Rock? Thank you so much for the follow. And And that was Cheetah Boy.
Cheetah 420.
Cheetah 420. We really appreciate that follow.
So 420 coming up, you better be here at Stones. I mean, like, if you can actually get here with an Uber because of the billowing amounts of smoke out of your dorm room. But you should totally get here and play in the Stones Spring Classic coming up here.
Mike Lopez wants to know if there's a nice hotel recommendation near you. JFK Stones was just telling me where he likes to stay when we're having like these big events.
Crown Plaza.
Crown Plaza. But definitely if you guys are coming down because we have all these big events coming up, our Spring Classic is getting started on the 13th. We're going to have all those huge names of poker going to be here. It's going to be just like the time you want to be here. You need to book that room like right away because it will fill up. Because everybody wants to stay. Wow, Mr. Brown just drove all the way from Vegas. And
straight here.
Straight to Stones.
Straight to Stones, like a true DGen, and we love it.
We love Stones.
Yeah, she was talking about the hotel, guys. They are super good down there, and not only that, they're very familiar with Stones. We actually put up most of our celebrity guests there, and we have a solid deal with them. So if you just say, hey, I'm going to be in town, I'm going to be at Stones, do you have like a Stones poker player rate? Maybe they could probably do something for you. I can't promise you anything, but I think they've done something in the past like that. So definitely mention that you're coming into town for Stones and see if they can help you out for sure. Crown Plaza, it's right off. It's off the Madison and Highway 80 exit. I'm not exactly sure of the address. I think it's actually, I believe it's off Date Avenue. I believe would be the official address. So Crown Plaza, Sacramento. It's off Date Avenue.
So a lot of players talking about have gotten in the game for the onesie game. I want to get in that game too. Maybe they've got an open seat for me.
Hey, when is that onesie game? I want to look it up because I better be doing commentary because either way I'm going to be here in a onesie. I don't care if I'm playing.
I don't think that they would have that out yet. If it's in June, I don't think that we would know who's commentating yet. But yeah, I would love to commentate. I could just wear a onesie in the booth, obviously.
Are we going to have prom date 2.0 onesies?
Yes.
Yes.
Onesie prom date.
Got it.
I Hate College said, that he was worried that his shark was taken, but it wasn't, so he's locked up.
So now I'm not going to be able to wear my shark onesie, but it's okay because I have other slippers and other onesies. We can make this work.
Yeah, he's a onesie addict. He's got
it's so cliche, card shark at the table. I like it.
It's like,
I like
which
it.
onesie today? Which onesie today?
Wow, Yo Teach with that raise run good here does raise to 12, flops a lot of queens. Queen, queen, deuce on the flop. Not much for Evie, or Lady No Muck.
I love this check though by her. Great job checking here, because she's just going to check around saying that you don't have a queen. I'm not going to continue the story. We could also argue for a bet there as well because
A C bet would be polarizing.
Yeah, because she did lead out pre. She doesn't necessarily have to have a queen there to continue, and she could possibly get a call, but I think a check is great and fine as well. Could argue either way. She does get a fold. No one has much of anything. I think a hand plays out the same either way.
Yeah, exactly. And the argument there on the flop is kind of funky, right? Because it's like, sure, you actually have a queen in this scenario, so you want to see bet, but the flop is queen, queen, deuce. I mean, I guess there's a flush draw out there, but what else can really continue? Like, not much can really follow you along with your betting here too. I mean, unless they just completely think you're full of it, or they have a flush draw, or they just want to get crafty.
Or they had like maybe a medium-sized pair, like 7, 8s, or 9s, might have, but that hand also could have 3-bet pre. There's a lot of different ways to look at that hand, but yeah, she could have C-bet there.
Yeah, it's one of those either way things.
Yep.
Gexarani says, my good hand twitch is so obvious, and every time I get a good hand, I fart. We might have played together before, because I'm pretty sure I smelled something a little ripe at one of these tables when somebody flipped over quads. So have we played together before? I don't know. We'll see.
Curdy here with the queen jack off in the small blind. She's going to call Yo Teach's raise from under the gun with the 8-9 off. Now, the reason I do not mind Yo Teach raising here from under the gun with the 8-9 off is because the awesome thing about raising with this type of hand from early position is again, we saw her do this earlier. She's telling a story that she has big overcards when really she has these medium connectors.
She could benefit from both types of boards,
You can play it
right?
from both boards, exactly. So you can rep the big cards and get people to fold out. And, her bet wasn't too big to make that happen. But then she could also nail it on the medium-sized board, and people aren't going to give her credit because she raised from early position. So I like that play.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if that board flopped 5, 6, 7 and she c-bets, somebody's going to be like, you're full of crap, I don't believe you, and she flopped the monster.
You have big cards
Yeah.
here. There's no way that you hit this flop based on your bet from early position.
I wanted to touch base on a question that was asked earlier. If I can find it. Here we go, from DT Dr. Prepper. Dr. Prepper, I like your style. When you go to a live poker game and you're card dead completely, how long, where'd that go? How long do you stay in that seat? Do you wait it out and try and bluff away, or do you change seats? So basically, if you're in a game, when you go to a live poker game and you're card dead completely, how long do you stay in the same seat? Do you wait it out and try and bluff away eventually, or do you change seats, or what's your MO there?
You know, it can go either way. You know, sometimes changing seats doesn't change much. Variance is what it is. You can always, sometimes I ask for a wash of the cards. Sometimes if I'm really dead long enough, I'll just ask to wash the cards and see if that maybe changes things up. Go to the bathroom, take a little break. That changes how the cards come out as well, if you believe in that sort of thing. But really, when I change seats, it's usually based on the players
Absolutely.
and who I want to sit to the left of, right? So, you know, my more aggressive players, I'm going to want to be on my right, so I'm collecting their chips as they flow downstream. So most of my seat changes are almost always based on the players at the table.
I'm glad you brought that up. I 100% agree. For me, I mean, maybe back in my early days, I started changing seats a lot just to like maybe, you know, get different cards and this and that. No, at this point, it's all about the players. I mean, let's face it. You sit down at a table, you're always going to look around the table. You're going to be like, okay, that's the one player who calls everything, so don't try to bluff that guy. These 2 or 3, I'm going to try to take money from, and these 2 or 3, I'm going to stay the hell away from, right? Like, you basically segment the table. So at the end of the day, when I am moving, I've literally played musical chairs in a game where every time the action player moved, I moved directly to his left.
Absolutely.
Every time. And he finally picked up on it after like the 4th seat move. And I'm like, there's only one reason I'm moving seats, bro, and it's every time you move. Like, there's a reason. You should figure that out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he randomly asks later, why are you raising me every time? I'm like, geez, I wonder why.
Yeah, and because you could be moving seats right whenever you're gonna that spot's gonna start picking up hands. You just really never know. You can't really believe too much in that stuff. However, it's all about your mindset too. If moving seats is gonna help you stay focused and feel re-energized, then do that. Do what's gonna help you get in the game and stay in the game with your psychology and stay focused. But however, you can't really chalk much up to that, right? It's just variance.
So Amber here opens to $8 with King 4 suited. Sally 3-bets to 23 with Ace Queen, and Curdy over here makes the call with deuces, and Amber makes the call as well. So 3-handed to the flop. King 5-5. Always scary when there's a paired board and I have deuces, like an under pair, because it's so easily counterfeitable. In this particular case, Amber way out in front with a king. Sally looking for running diamonds or an ace, or now another queen potentially here after she banks one on the turn. So Amber decides to bet out 20 here, and Sally connects with the queen, so it's a quick call from her. 4 on the river, pretty much a brick card, although would complete a flush draw had either player had one. I think this is probably still a relatively pretty easy, straightforward call for Sally, just to prove that basically, Amber, you prove, show me your king or show me your 5. Now, we know Amber did open originally pre-flop, and then Sally 3-bet here, so I mean, a king is definitely in Amber's range. I don't think it's maybe a big enough bet to get Sally to fold, but she's going to take it into consideration. She's going to think about it, and inevitably, I think it's going to go for the payoff here.
Look at all those salads back there.
See, the salad run good, right?
Everybody started ordering salads.
More salads for all my peeps. She lets it go. Super disciplined fold by Sally. And you know what? This is why we see Sally in here playing as a regular all the time, because she's able. So here's the deal. You might not think, what's the big deal? She folded, whatever, okay? But a lot of players call in that position. That was $30. Now let's take that and let's expand that 10, 20 times over. 300, 600, 800, 900. It's the difference at the end of the month between being a profitable player and being a break-even or slightly down player.
Absolutely.
That's the difference.
Making big folds is so huge to to being profitable. It's
Oh, yeah.
one of the biggest things. Making hands is not, it's important, but it's not near as important as making disciplined folds in marginal spots.
And I think that's when you actually know, when you feel good and you think you're getting better, and I'm being a better poker player. I think I'm playing better. I'm making better moves and better decisions. And then you make a good fold. I think once you get to that point and you feel just as good about making a phenomenal fold as you do about making a phenomenal call, I think that's like the next level of progression in your game. You're like, yes, I'm doing this right. I think I'm doing this right, you know? All right, so it looks like Amber here pops to 6. Lady No Muck comes along red drum with the ace king, 3 bets to 26. I love it. Waprai giving some advice to college. I hate college for the onesie game, saying, hey, I know it's a small onesie game and all, but you should bring about 2 to 3K for that 1-3 game because reasons. Onesie games, themed games. I mean, we get a little out of control sometimes here. Look at this for Lady No Muck here. Binking top 2 pair, did call Red Drum's original 3-bet, and this is just a dream scenario for 6-7. I mean, how many times 6-7 do you flop top 2 pair?
Goodness, she runs hot.
She's running that pure.
That's hot and plays well. Can't beat it. Can't beat that.
So Amber checks. Lady No Muck bets 40. Now, Red Drum was our original aggressor here, a re-aggressor, I guess you could say, who 3-bet pre. Now is going to flat here from the button. She does have position. Lady No Muck is in a super solid spot here. If any king or ace peels, this could really get Lady No Muck paid. Well, let it happen. There it is. Lady No Muck's not going to slow down. Yeah, she is on full-on speeder mode.
Her train is running down the tracks and nobody can catch her.
I approve of the train reference. And now here's the kicker, is that over to Red Drum. Red Drum's thinking she probably got the best of it at this point. Is she going to flat or is she going to raise? If she puts Lady No Muck on some sort of a drawy hand, like a straight draw, flush draw, she might actually find a raise here, which might not end well. So we'll see how this goes.
What's up, Hots? Good to see you in the chat.
Hot Segsta, what up? OM Jizzles. Wow, that happened.
That just happened.
And this is crazy here. Pastor Rock, thanks for the follow. Wow. So
that was for your follow.
That was the ultimate counterfeit card here for Lady No Muck, and it's unfortunate because she really is like, you either have a king to beat me or you don't. And this
now
is
she's
rough.
first to act. She's cutting out a bet here, naming her prize.
And you know the sick part about this king too is that if Red Drum did 3-bet pre, right? Who has ace king here? If Red Drum had any pocket pair like 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, that all beats Lady No Muck now.
Right.
Even if she doesn't have a king, it's just a really crappy scenario for Lady No Muck.
If Lady No Muck checks river here, she's just, if Red Drum doesn't have a king, then she's basically just giving the pot to her at that point. So she chooses to bet out. Now Red Rum has to decide how much to raise in this spot. There's no flush completed.
No, this is
straight
dream
didn't
scenario.
Get there, so she should be putting in a raise here.
Yeah, and every other draw missed. So unless somehow Lady No Muck has like
set.
deuces, 6s, or 7s, like as far as like pocket pairs and boated, Red Rum is just going for the guts here, going for the super value blood.
So there's no way she's folding here. She's really Hollywood. If she wants to get paid on a raise, then this Hollywood is too long.
It's too long at this point.
Yeah, so she's just thinking about if she could be beat. She makes the call.
Yeah, she flats. Ace king, there you go. Now, there you go, exactly, and that's what I was waiting for her to hear. That's why she called, and that's why she called instead of raised, because she said it was either. That's why she looked upset, even though she knew she won the pot, because she said it literally was either 2-pair or a set.
Right.
And I thought it was a set. If I knew it was 2-pair, obviously I'd go in for the value raise.
Right.
And that's exactly so. That's what's running through her head. I like that she verbally announced that, so you guys have an idea. She's
like
not just sitting here like, you're like, well, why wouldn't you raise that? That's why. It was very easy. The fact that Lady No Muck, I think, was our original raiser, and then flatted Red Rum's 3-bet. So, of course, it's very easily in her range to have a small pocket pair trying to set mine, and she could have binked one. I mean, it's deuce 6-7, super random flop.
Hey there, Mr. Wynn. Good to see you in the chat. Again.
You guys are awesome. For those of you just tuning in, we only have about 10 minutes left this evening, but obviously we will be live with you at 7 p.m. Pacific time here on Wednesday evening. I believe that will be me again and Mr. Chris in the booth. It will. Yeah. We have a 5-5 game on Wednesday, me and Chris in the booth. We will not be going to prom, though. Me and Chris will not be going to prom.
Yeah, K8 was just wondering when we stopped streaming. Yeah, we have 10 minutes left, so we're live from 7 to 10, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But if you make sure you hit that subscribe button, then you'll always get notified when we go live. I will be here on Friday. I'll be commentating on Friday's game. Also, I commentated, I believe, Sunday, Monday, and either Wednesday or Friday of last week. So there were some some of the best games I've ever commentated on last week. So go back. You can always watch our old shows. We have those archived for you guys to be able to watch and study.
Lots of jacks here for Evie here. Spinks trips on the turn against 2 flush draws. Both Amber and Sally with a flush draw.
I'm going to make a little small bet here. She bets 30 into 93, so it's like 1/3 pot size bet.
And with go for it.
I was just going to say, trying to get some value out of these draws.
I mean, when you have 2 players calling you on a flush draw board, you can generally assume that at least one of them has a flush draw.
Both of those make discipline laydowns.
Yeah. Look at that, you hear that? You guys, you were talking about this, right? The ladies game versus playing with the fellas. You can already hear 10 more minutes left in the stream. They're already calling, beckoning over for Brian, all the other action players. I'm looking at them right now. And he's just like, come on, man, fresh meat for the grinder. Bring it in here. We want fresh chips.
Yeah, this game will keep going. There's gonna be a list. Now, once our stream ends here at 10, we'll start adding men. Like he was just saying, men will start adding into the mix, and these ladies say yum yum.
Bring back Jake in the pink wig.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really upset. I
may even jump in this game.
He needs. Okay, next time he's in the booth, we need to get him in the wig. It's going down.
Okay, good. He's like, you have to wear a wig though if you come to the table. Pink wig.
See, they're even talking about the pink wig. They know.
He's a beast. Are you guys seeing the flat?
They have a house wig. Like, oh, you want to play in the ladies' game? Here. You're not the first. Here's the wig. All right, so Lady No Muck sticking with her normal 12 to 15 raise range here. She does make a 15 to go with Queen 10 under the gun. Curdy calls with King 10. Queen 10 is my kryptonite. That hand has ruined my life in every big pot that ever mattered. And Amber comes along with Jack 7. So 10 high board here. Battle of the kickers between Lady No Muck and Curdy, who both flop top pair. Both players with a higher diamond to redraw.
Wow.
Woo! Get some.
Even he was like, they're like trying to call him over to PLO and the 5-10 game. He's like, no. I'm right here. He's running so good.
Alrighty. So Lady No Muck does fire 15. Looks like Curdy came in for a healthy raise here to about 40. And this is a position that we have all found ourselves in. You bet out with top pair and a decent kicker, and you get raised, and then you think, where am I in this hand? So this is what we're going to find out right now. Lady No Muck does make the call. Lady No Muck clearly looking for a queen here, 2 of which still remain in the deck. 1 was folded. Deuce of spades on the turn.
Anybody can hit that queen, it's Lady No Muck.
True. Now, obviously, Deuce of spades on the turn here.
So there's 126.
Yeah, well, it's a complete brick. Deuce of spades on the turn. I mean, nobody's looking for that there. I think both players know that.
Yeah, so Curdy bets out a half-size pot size bet to bring along some of these flush draw possibilities or lower hand possibilities. Like lower pair hands.
And so, essentially, this is a complete brick run out. Deuce 4, no completion, and check. And Lady No Muck, look at this stare down. She gives it. She's like, yeah, it's good. I knew it was good. Dang it. So we do have a couple people now, Red Rum and Curdy, both over 1,000. Diva's still on the short side, but man, if she hasn't been holding on. You know, it's funny, Diva reminds me of every time, I know there's certain players in here who do this, but have you ever been playing in a 1-2 game or 1-3 game and you get somebody who always comes in, they buy in for the minimum, they buy in for that 40, 60 bucks, and they just sit on it, but I'll shit you not, if it's the right dynamics and the right action game, I see those guys run that, I mean, a lot of times they just crap out, right? But they run that 40 or 60 bucks up to like 500. And I'm like, that's why they do it. All they need to do is do that once, and then they're like, oh, dude, this is the way I play poker now. This is like, I'm all in or full. Like, they basically short stack themselves to all in or full.
You know, you hear some crazy stories about some of the best players in poker in history doing something similar, where they start with this really small little stack, and then they run it up, move up, you know, to a bigger game, and a bigger game, and a bigger game, and they turn in that little stack, and then suddenly it's 100K, and it's run up to $1 million. Yeah, there's some really fun stories like that. It definitely does happen. We had some nice words in the chat. Mr. Wynn saying he loves watching you guys. You always do a great job. Keep up the great work. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Wynn. We are here for you guys. Any way you think we can make it better, we always love the feedback, so thank you so much.
Nice. See, prime example, Hot Zerkster here in the Twitch says, I actually short stacked with the pros this week at running up Queen. I went from 100 to 1,400 in the 1-2.
Nice.
Well
Very
done.
good.
Well done. We approve.
Yes, we do.
Well done. I actually took that same approach years and years ago at the WSOP, and this was when I don't think it's still like this at all. Now I just go to play, so I don't even know. But it was towards the main event side of things, and they wouldn't even really let people in to spectate because it was just too busy. And so there was this line of like 100 people long. What's that for? Oh, that's to get in and walk around and like look at all the poker pros and the players and stuff while they're playing. And I'm like, well, what's that line for? And there was like 5 people waiting in line. Oh, that's for the cash game. So I just went and sat in this cash game, and I sat in this 2-5, and I bought in for like $200, and everybody's buying in this 2-5 game is buying in for 500 to 1,000 a whack, and then they're just barreling off cash because all these guys they're bust at the main event. They all bought in for cash. They're all like wealthy businessmen, and they come buy in for 1,000 and just shoot it off like it's fun. I went from 200 to like $2,000 in like an hour, and I really just went in there to like walk around and look at poker players.
That's amazing. That's why so many players live at the cash games during the World Series, because there are so many people traveling from all over the world who are
spewing,
super recreational, just spewing, just loving the game of poker, but not really caring too much and just playing pretty wild. That's also why I like to choose to go to Vegas during some certain other times. Around the holidays is a really great time, like Christmas through New Year's is when I was there. March Madness, during some of their big conventions. These are all great times where you want to be a profitable poker player. You got to hunt out, whale hunt, find those games, get in the good games. That's how you really make your living in poker.
There we go. And Sally does bet top pair here with her king, and Red Rum finds a fold. Hot's also saying Moneymaker had a full ring game with like 7 to 10 old men on the wait list at all times, cleaning up the 1-2. Absolutely. And you know what? The similar things happen with Moneymaker's here at Stones. He was probably wearing his Stones hat. I mean, heck, every picture I've seen of him, he's wearing some sort of Stones swag now. I think we invited him once, and he just like never left. Now he's at Stones all the time.
I know. We love the Moneymaker. He's like family.
He must have probably had obligations. Otherwise, guaranteed he would have just driven straight down from Reno to here. Like that's he's just like, I'm in. Golf and poker is all like Moneymaker. Like, I'm in. Golf and poker, in no matter what. See, Hot said he was wearing it. See that Stone swag, man. I love it. Actually, I love that out in Vegas. I see so many of these hoodies out in Vegas, these Stones hoodies, and it's so great. I'm just like, whenever I see somebody in a Stones hoodie, I'm like, yeah, my peeps. Yeah. All right, Yo Teach back with her usual I love it. These raises by Yo Teach. I mean, her range is anywhere here, and they're always like fun connected cards, 8, 9, 6, 7, 9, 10. So she pops to 12 here, +2. And Amber makes the call. Lady No Muck firing a 3-bet on the button. I like this. Lady No Muck hasn't really been doing a lot of 3-betting. This, I'm not surprised to see everybody find a quick fold there.
No, and I was just gonna say, you know, this is the 3rd time we've seen her raise with that type of hand. I would, and now we see she's got a real hand here, but Lady No Muck coming in with the 3-bet. If you can, this is when we talk about game theory optimal, about not continuing to do the same thing every time with the same type of hand, because really people can start to exploit that and take advantage of it. You're going to see yourself getting 3-bet when, again, from early position, you're doing the same thing. So I would like to see her change it up, find a fold, find a call, or just maybe do something a little bit different, just so you're not making yourself exploitable.
And this right here is a great comment by Dondo, saying the few times I played with Yo Teach, I always thought she was just a nit, meaning that she played super snug and super tight. A lot of people think that about her, which is why it's so great that she can actually get behind the scenes now. She exploits that image constantly. We've seen her do it several times tonight, and it's worked for her almost every time.
Right. I wonder if our lovely masseuse is still here. I need to get on her list. We have a masseuse here at Stone. It's only $1 a minute. She is fantastic.
Tracy's a rock star.
Just one more reason why Stone's is the best and only place to play anywhere around Sacramento.
Cider, what is going on? Cider, actually, that's Adrian, who played in our stream game when Vanessa was in town. Very cool dude. Made a lot of fun moves actually that night, and drove a couple hours, I think, out of Stockton or something to come play as well. So
nice.
Very cool. Always
Very
a pleasure.
cool.
You got I think that might have been the last hand actually. You hopped in just soon enough to say hi.
Yeah.
There it is.
What a fun, great game. Lady No Muck was here. We had a lot of female crushers. Really interesting to watch. You and I were on our prom date.
It's true.
I drank a lot of wine.
Yeah, you did.
You drank a lot of Rockstar.
True.
Had a great time.
Absolutely. Absolutely, that was awesome. Guys, this officially concludes Ladies Night, at least for the stream, but they are going to be playing here all night, and now we're going to get guys into the mix, so you can imagine the drinks are going to start flowing. It's going to get all sorts of craziness, so if you're anywhere around, feel free to come down. Our next show is going to be Wednesday, and this is a 5-5 game. This is going to be me and Chris in the house. But for tonight, I'm Justin Kelly. This is the one and only Kasey Mills,
It was
signing
fun.
off.
Loved having you.
You guys are awesome.